Day 19. I am concerned about the crew. After all, Ecco the Dolphin is not just a game, it is an adventure. The graphics are so real, they don't want to go into the sea anymore. 27 levels of danger, mystery, and beauty, all through the eyes of a dolphin. Simply brilliant. Thank goodness, my trusty skipper Pierre has no interest in this new game.
And hello, and welcome one and all to the SEGA Spirit Show! Yay! It's your healthy dose of blue skies, blast processing, and a whole lot of retro-fueled enthusiasm. I'm your host, Graham, and the person with me needs some introduction. I'm joined by the man, the myth, the Sega-loving legend himself, Scotty Mo. And this week, we got some fresh catches from the Sega community coming your way. I'm going to try and bait Scotty with some fun Sega-themed quiz, and we're diving headfirst. Do you like all these little puns I'm thinking?
I need to, keep going.
Diving headfirst into deep blue talk about the one, the only, Ecco the Dolphin, because he's recently come up for air in the news, believe it or not. So strap into your life jacket, grab your controller, and jump on in. The water's fine. Join us on this latest adventure with the SEGA Spirit Show! Yep, welcome to the show, everybody. And let's kick it off with, the niceties. Scotty, how are you doing? How are you doing, my friend?
I'm alive and I'm here, so that's good, right?
Well, that's the first step. Happy to hear that.
First step, woke up and decided to keep going today, right?
Yep, the first step to life.
Yeah. No, I'm good. Is this where we talk about what we did? Because that's what I noted down here.
Yes, please do. Please tell me. What did you do, Scotty? What have you done?
I did about a week ago at the time of this recording, we were doing the SEGA Saturn Day 12-hour marathon for the 30th anniversary. Lots of numbers and names and words and things. And Rachel and I, we sat on our couch and played 12 hours of Saturn.
It was awesome.
It went really well. Trying to raise money for Extra Life. We got... at the time of the stream, we had 311 out of $500. Shoot, I should have double checked that. It's more than that now. It's about 320. It's like 360 now or something. I forget.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah.
So yeah, thank you. Graham donated a good chunk of that he didn't need to do, but he did.
I was having so much fun watching it. I thought, gotta give these people some money.
I figured he was just bribing us to play Bulk Slash.
Yeah, partly.
But that was cool. I really like that game. I won't talk a whole lot about it because there is a VOD on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, and also on my Twitch. I got to figure out because I think YouTube might have cut off the tail end. I got to figure that out. But the majority of it is on there. We had the classics. We had a couple launch games because we were celebrating the launch of it. Pretty much the failed launch in North America is how everybody coins it. But it was on the day that it was announced. The Saturn was in stores, and I don't know that it actually was a Saturday, but they might have said like this coming Saturday. I don't know, whatever. But it was May 11th, and just the things I want to point out is that I do love Bulk Slash now. That game we played, it's really virtual on if you're running around the city. And it was not originally on the schedule. Graham pushed us into that. And well, it's fitting. I think, it was a combination of things because we had on the schedule the Burning Rangers co-op mode, which was absolute chaos. And Rachel, it's pretty much like Sonic and Tails mode because player 2 doesn't really do anything except for collect. I think they can collect. No, I don't think they can collect, but they can put out the fires so that you get the gems.
Right.
And Burning Rangers, look it up. I'm not going to even try to. It's just future firefighters.
It's awesome. I love it.
But so the hack allowed for somebody to take control of a second person that was never. It was originally in the game. There was maybe a versus mode or something. But anyway, Bo Bales hacked back in the co-op mode. and Rachel was running around. What did you think of that, Graham? Because that's what you were waiting for.
Oh yeah, I was very excited to watch that.
Yeah.
And the Burning Range thing. I think. So yeah, because I do remember the co-op thing being like talked about in Saturn magazines back in the day, and I think in my head it was going to be more of a split screen affair. I don't know if that was ever officially. I don't know if I just made that up in my head though, but they got rid of it. But yeah, as you say, the co-op mode is kind of like Sonic and Tails, like when you're playing in Sonic 2 and stuff. So yeah, it was interesting because when player one would, I don't know, run out of the room, player two kind of sometimes just get left behind, and like Rachel would be like, I can't see myself, where am I, sort of thing, and then appear back on the screen, sort of thing.
I don't think we mentioned this, but the only thing that's different in the controls for her is if she hits A, she would spawn in my spot, so she would just spawn back into place.
Right. Okay.
Back into play.
Okay, that's how that's working. Yeah. So it was quite interesting to watch that. I feel like if you got two very experienced players, it could actually become really good. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
When you get to a boss battle, because I don't think you got to a boss battle when I was watching it.
No, I think we got through the first chapter, not even the first level, I don't think.
Right, okay, yeah.
So they're big. There's not many levels, but they're big levels.
Yeah, from memory, I think there's 4 proper levels in total, but there's plus like a kind of bonus stage area. And yeah, they're split up into multiple segments, basically. So yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, but that was originally going to be an hour, and then Graham kept asking about Bulk Slash, and I wanted to play it anyway. I had it. I think you might have even seen it like on the Satiator menu when I had it open or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, let's just do that, because it was part of that Saturn contest that we mentioned a couple years ago. It actually won the contest a couple years ago. Yeah, Bulk Slash is virtual on in a sandbox city, basically, or just a big city level, and you're shooting stuff, you're blowing stuff up, and then you've got bosses, and the controls are weird, but it makes sense because they never had a right stick on the Saturn. So it reminded me of Mega Man Legends controls immediately, because the D-pad was like up is forward, down is backwards, or back up, left and right is left and right is strafing, and then the shoulder buttons R and L are turning.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly. And it took some getting used to. Flying around is easier than running around, I'll say. But it's fun. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but the Homebrew team that did most of the stuff I'm going to talk about here, or some of the other things, they actually came back. They fan translated Bulk Slash. They did they did new voiceovers for it.
Yeah,
like they had people record voiceovers and stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, because the guy was in the chat, wasn't he, on the stream?
Danthrax, who's a big part of the Shiro community, or he's on the Saturn Shiro staff. That awesome site and podcast. He is one of the programmers. I don't know what his title is with all of them, but he helps with a lot of these fan hacks and fan updates and translations and things.
Yeah, he was saying
he's
that they
a
added
cool,
in...
nice guy overall as well. I got to shout out Danthrax, because he was answering all of my Satiator questions, because I was a brand new baby boy into this world. So
yeah, and just to be clear as well, Bulk Slash, if people don't know it, it's, as you say, it's a mech game, kind of like Virtual On, but like in levels. But you can transform into a fighter jet, and the level areas are pretty big as well. Compared to games these days, they're tiny, but back in the day, it was like, oh, it's like a whole city I'm running around in. And but you can also change the controls. So I don't use the base controls because I find that very tricky. I
got used to them in the short half hour I was playing it. I got relatively used to them, but I might mess around with the other settings when I do sit down with it more sincerely. So yeah, but then there was also Jung Rhythm, which was that Parappa Jammer game we mentioned last episode. That is not as easy as I thought. Not as easy as Parappa or Jammer Lammy. Holy crap. We got through the first level barely. We couldn't make it through the second level. And then the versus mode was even more ridiculous, because it doesn't even count you off in versus mode. It just throws you in, and then it's like, all right, other person go. Now you go back, Simon Says kind of thing. But wow, I want to play more of it, because I do really love the aesthetic and just the insanity of it all. But it was difficult.
Yeah, it did look,
I think you were watching that as well. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see some of that. Yeah, that was it looked like you guys were having a bit of trouble playing it, but
oh my gosh. And
Yeah.
it wasn't just because it was on an HD instead of a CRT. It was just difficult.
Yeah.
So well, it's not like I'm a drummer. I have some sort of rhythm. So it was bothering me when I would do better with the offbeat stuff than the downbeat stuff. And that was what was driving me nuts too, because it would be like, just, I don't know. Watch the VOD, I guess. And then a couple others I'll mention real quick here, or just one other, because we already talked about that. Cube Cat is an awesome indie game that, like, I genuinely enjoyed myself and want to go back to this platformer game that was, I think it's a year old now. Just one dude made it. And I was messing around, and it worked with every controller I tried. It worked with
Oh,
the
that's
arcade
good.
stick. It worked with the mission stick that I had.
Oh,
Actually,
okay. Yeah.
let me grab that real quick just because it's right behind me to show the people so they have an
Yeah.
idea. Because mission stick doesn't explain anything. Here we go. All right, got to put my earbuds back in, but you can see it's like it is a flight stick. It is that because there's a joystick on the right, but you have also got the face buttons for the Saturn, start button and stuff, and then turbo buttons up top. But what's insane about it is you can see the bolts. You can actually change what side the stick is on, so you can kind of create your own twin stick for virtual on if you wanted to.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, for some reason. I mean, well, not for some reason. We had it down there with us, and like I have a bunch of Saturn controllers and different variations. So I tried Cube Cat with this, and it does work, but it was so hard to control. And you've got a video playing now. It was
Yeah.
really neat. I was really, really impressed with that. Like, as it's just a decent platformer.
Yeah.
And the other indie game we played, Micro Motor Mayhem, that was good, but it's got some things to work out still. I enjoyed it. Rachel was having a lot of trouble with it because the camera was either too close or too far for her, it felt like. But Cube Cat I loved. I did enjoy Motor Micro Mayhem. I feel like that'd be more fun with like 4 humans than one-on-one because it was, sorry, Graham, I didn't realize you'd be switching around. I didn't give you prompts or any of this stuff,
No,
but
that's all good. No, no, no. Let's keep going.
yeah, it was a Micro Machine. Oh, the game I could not remember last episode was Rush Rush Rally. Like one of the first
Oh,
Dreamcast indie games
yes.
was the
Yeah.
thing that I couldn't remember in comparison to. Rush Rush Rally, that game, in my opinion, is unplayable because the camera is too close to your car.
Right.
But this one's you can see a little further, or you have a more of a field of view a little bit.
Yeah. This.
I thought it was a lot of fun. I don't think you saw. I don't think you were in.
I
Did you see
wasn't hit.
this play?
I missed this and I missed Cube Cat, and those are two games I really wanted to watch as well.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
obviously busy doing stuff. In fact, for a lot, I wasn't. I didn't tell you guys, but at one point when you guys kept talking to me, you kept asking me questions. I was having to type in the chat. I was actually outside in the garden trying to dig a hole in the garden. I just had you guys to the side, like kind of semi-watching,
Nice.
and yeah.
So did Corey, actually. I think he was doing yard work as well. So we were the marathon was seeing the outdoors more than we did during it. That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, it was really
But
good.
yeah,
Really good show.
thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We always end with Saturn Bomberman. That was good. And played a little Resident Evil battle mode and stuff. So it was a good time. All thanks to
Yeah.
the Satiator and the cool community behind it.
Yeah.
But but yeah, the VOD's up there, and if you do still want to donate, you can. We'll have the donation link in the description and everything. Oh, there's Bulk Slash. There you go.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
Um, yeah, very vibrant, colorful. I love how colorful it is because I feel because literally the next generation. Well, no, Dreamcast was still vibrant, but like the following, PS3, 360, it was all shades of brown, gray, and green. So
Yeah.
I feel like if this had come out then, it'd just be another depressive. It'd be like depression, yeah, Mech Warrior Depression Edition or something, Um, so, but it was really good.
Yeah.
The ladies' voices got pretty
Oh yeah.
sensual at times. I don't think
Yes.
that was on purpose, but that was, of course, Rachel, my lovely wife, pointed it right out. She's like, "Sounds like porn." I'm like, "Yep, it does." And I wasn't going to say that on stream, honey, but you are correct. That's my wife. My wife. Yeah, Saturn Day.
Awesome. Yeah. So everyone check out the video and stuff, the Scotty stream if you can. Maybe at the end we'll chuck something in the description of the video and the notes, and you can give a shout out at the end as well.
Sure.
But yeah.
What about you, Graham? What have you been doing?
God, I'll run through my stuff pretty quickly. So I did actually pick up a new game, but I'm going to speak about that later in the show. So yeah, something that has been mentioned before, which I'm excited to talk about. I also bought, I finally cracked and bought a brand new PC, a new gaming computer, and it died after like 3 days.
Not using it right now.
I'm not using it right now. I am so glad I didn't wipe the hard drive on my old computer. But man, yeah, it's so annoying. Basically, the graphics card just is brand new graphics card. It's not the top of the range spec graphics card, but it's pretty decent. It's a NVIDIA RTX 5070.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you literally, in the stream on Saturday, you were asking, you basically did a mini poll. You're like, all right, who thinks I should get what did you say? A built gamer PC or something else? What was it?
So
what were your options?
So basically, I was looking at getting a second-hand gaming computer, which was an old Alienware one, but it was actually a couple of generations old.
That was it.
So I think I had a RTX 3090 card in, which is like at least 2 generations old now. But generally, the specs on it they're better than my current computer.
Sure.
And it was a more affordable computer. I mean, I could afford both, but it was a lot cheaper. Or I could spend about £600 more and get basically a brand new, not quite top of the range, but very good spec new PC.
How much more did you say?
It was about £600 more. So it was a decent chunk of money. But my thinking was basically the computer that I'm using right now. I got it from the same website. I've had it for over 10 years. It still actually works pretty damn well. But
over 10?
Yeah, it's over 10 years old.
Damn.
Now.
But you've probably switched out not motherboards. Well, maybe motherboards. I don't know. You switched stuff out of it though?
The only thing I've changed is the main hard drive. So I switched from
Wait, you haven't added RAM or anything to it?
I haven't touched it.
Crap?
I know. So yeah,
I'm shopping in the wrong place.
I switched the HDD to an SSD at one point.
Yeah, there you go.
But I've got I'm not even joking. I've got like 6 external hard drives plugged into it because I've used it. Used up so much memory.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's been a brilliant computer. The problem with it is it's Windows 10 and it's Windows 10 is coming to the end of life towards the end of the year. This one won't be able to upgrade to Windows 11, and I can't put in. Basically, if I want to upgrade, be able to upgrade to Windows 11, I'd need to replace the processor. To replace I need to replace the motherboard because the motherboard won't take any new processors. I'd probably need a better graphics card. The graphics card won't fit in this case. So it's kind of. I may as well just get a new computer. Basically, I'm just rebuilding the whole thing anyway. So yeah, and this website, I mean, it's not the cheapest website in the world, but at the same time, I've compared it to other reputable PC builders, people who actually just build custom PCs, put the same specs in, and if I went for the custom PC, I'd be saving about £20, and the turnaround times are a lot longer. And this other website, I've used it before, I'm quite happy with it, but now something's gone wrong. So, but they're replacing it. They're actually going to come and pick it up early next week. To take it in, have a look at it, fiddle around with it. But yeah, I think it's the graphics card because basically I was on a Zoom call for work, so I use it for work as well. And suddenly both my monitors went blank, and the fans
turned black.
Both went black.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that's a small heart attack.
And the fans in the computer just went really loud. And I was like,
geez.
What the hell? I was like, oh my God, what the hell's going on? And then suddenly from my speakers, I heard the people on the call going, "Are you okay?" Because all they could see me was looking at my screen, suddenly going, "What's going on?" I think I swore as well, but they could see me clearly, and I could hear them. And so I was like, "Oh, you can still hear me?" And they're like, "Yeah, what's going on?" I was like, "My computer's broken. I don't know what's going on."
My monitors went black, and it's about to fly through the roof.
Yeah, and then I turned off the computer, turned it back on, everything was working. Logged into Zoom, almost immediately it went black. I was like, "Oh, maybe it's Zoom." Turned off the computer, logged back in. Literally didn't even open any applications. It went black again. And yeah, it's just. And at one point, I couldn't even log into Windows. So it's just very temperamental. Another time, I just turned it on, left it for 10 minutes, not doing anything, and then again. So yeah, I think it's graphics card. Something's wrong with it. Oh well.
That's insane and incredibly worrisome.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, especially when a fan speeds up and you've done nothing.
Yeah, it was very loud because it was almost silent. The computer was basically silent. Like, this is a great computer, like really quiet. And this thing's
Right. Yeah, that's mine. Shoot, I was gonna say something and now I forgot. Because mine can't. My PC, I'm on my Mac right now. Enjoy that, haters. But my PC, my main PC, is 8 years old now, and it also has been prompting me for the past year that it can't update to Windows 11. I'm like, that's fine. I don't want Windows 11, jerk. But I mean, it's not going to like stop working, right? The way you just talked, it was like it can't do anything, but that just means you can't update certain apps.
You can't. Yeah, basically, support's getting stopped for its security.
Right.
If you want to keep support for another year, you have to pay Microsoft money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was kind of like thinking, wow, I use my computer literally every day. I use it for work.
Yeah.
I will probably have to upgrade. Yeah, so it's 10 years old. It needs updating at some point. If I want to play any modern games, I'll probably need to update it.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
exactly.
Thought give it a go. That did not work.
Well, I mean what I was mentioning though, you asked on Saturday what PC to get, and then I think Wednesday you're like PC showed up, or no, Tuesday you're like PC showed up, and I was
yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
So
it's basically almost next day delivery. I think it was actually two working days. But yeah, it was good times. Aside from that, I ended up watching two. I don't really watch movies at the moment, but I managed to watch two Jason Statham movies. And I think if people like action movies or Jason Statham, they should watch them. One is The Beekeeper, which came out a couple of years ago. I thought it was a lot of fun. Good action movie. And the other one's called A Working Man, which came out this year. In the UK, it's on Amazon Prime. And it's almost like a modern version of Taken. I will say Taken is the best movie still.
Okay.
But there's a lot of similarities. But it's still a fun movie. It's just a fun action movie. Don't expect anything amazing, people, but it's a very fun action movie.
I thought Working Man was another old man fighting everybody like a John Wick or a
it kind of is, but the storyline is very similar to Taken. It's not his daughter that's taken; it's like his employer's daughter. But he's kind of the employer's almost like family to him, and he loves the daughter of the employer's like family as well. And he is like an ex-military special trained person, but he's like working as a builder now, and he's reluctant to get back into the old life. But the daughter gets taken, and then he's basically he goes on the hunt to try and find out who has taken her. And it's kind of like Taken in that, like, he finds the breadcrumbs and ends up killing people to get to the next breadcrumb. And it turns out it's like a mafia boss who basically, they're trying to like send everybody after him. And he's just killing everybody. Which is, if you like violence, you like Jason Statham, we check it out.
Yeah, I've heard good things about both those.
Yeah. Well, there we go. And with that, let's get on to our next section. Okay, so
transition. Nope.
Scotty,
that was a quicker one.
Yeah, it's a lot quicker, that transition. So full disclosure for everybody, last week we actually tried to do what we're about to do, but I was rambling so much I couldn't get my words out properly, and it kind of failed. But I want to persevere because I think this could be entertaining. So what this is, it's a little Sega theme quiz that we're going to try and do each episode until either we run out of steam or we just get bored. Essentially what it is in front of me I have some randomly generated names associated with Sega. They can be the names of games, characters, levels, or even prolific people from Sega, like developers or whoever, studio heads. So that I have had them randomly generated and spit out in front of me. I've now got a list in front of me. I have to describe what each name is, but without using any words in that name. So if the name is Sonic the Hedgehog, for example, if the name is Sonic the Hedgehog, I cannot describe it as a blue hedgehog because hedgehog is in the name Sonic the Hedgehog. So I'd have to describe it in another way, like very fast Sega mascot or something, or blue character that can roll into a ball, something like that. And then Scotty, you have to try and guess what I'm trying to describe. And I'll give you 1 minute to try and guess as many of the names as possible. And, each episode we'll try and see if you can get better and better. And also,
names.
hopefully, here's the thing: you can pass if you really don't know who it is. Just say pass, and we'll quickly move on to the next one because I want you to try and get as many names in a minute as possible. And there's no prizes here. There's no points or anything, but play along at home. I think it's quite fun if you play along at home. See if you can beat Scotty, basically. See if you can get more guesses than him. And I just need to set up my timer because I forgot to do that.
I don't have my hands up here again, so I'm not. Doesn't look like I'm Googling.
Awesome.
I don't have my Google Glass or anything. Don't worry, folks.
So, with that, are you ready, Scotty?
Sure.
Let's do this, okay? And starting now. Okay, so this is a party game for the Dreamcast. It's terrible. It's kind of their answer to Mario. Yep. A fast-paced action game featuring Joe Musashi.
Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Shinobi. Is it just Shinobi? Rather than Ninja. Shinobi and his dog.
The third one in the game. Third one in the series.
Shinobi 3, he loves his dog a lot.
That'll do.
Pass.
The best game ever made. My favourite game.
Panzer Dragoon Saga?
Yes. A robot. This is the name of a character. It's a robot with a tragic story in Sonic Adventure.
Oh, E102 Gamma.
Yep. Another character name. The barbarian hero in Golden Axe.
Oh, Jesus. What is his name? I think it's literally Axe Wielder or something.
Yeah. It's Axe Batter. Okay, it's Axe Batter.
Oh, yeah.
Another character. Oh my god, I got a frog in my throat. Okay, that's. Sorry, man. That's the end of the.
What was the last one? Or are we saving that for next time or something? Whatever you need to do.
I think we should save it for the next one. Sorry about that.
Right.
I kind of choked. I choked at the end. My voice just went.
That's okay. So you got to have a swig before you. Before
We're
the
so
quiz.
professional.
What one did I professional? What one did I miss or did I miss? Oh, what's Shinobi?
It's Shinobi 3. We'll go with that. We'll say we got that. I was going to go to the full. It's Shinobi 3: Return of the Ninja Master.
Return. Yeah. I thought that one had a different name, and then the subtitle was Shinobi 3, or maybe I'm thinking of another one. I don't know.
Shadow Dancer was the first Shinobi. I think it's called Shadow Dancer.
Shadow Dancer.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think maybe that's it. So you got Sonic Shuffle, Shinobi 3, Panzer Dragoon Saga, E102 Gamma, and Axe Battler. And that is 5. You got 5 this week, which is actually better than the practice run last time.
I'll take it. Yeah, Revenge of Shinobi, Shadow Dancer. That was the one I couldn't remember, though. I knew it had a name. Is that the one with his dog, or is that Revenge of Shinobi? He's got his dog walking around with him. Forget.
I actually can't remember now. Does it?
It's probably like a wolf or something a lot more.
I'm going to blow people's minds. My favorite Shinobi is Shinobi on the Game Gear, and I've never really got into the other Shinobis other than the 3DS. Well, the 3DS one was actually pretty cool as well.
Shadow Dancer, the box art on the back does have a dog hanging out with him. It's a wolf, like a white wolf.
Okay, maybe that was it.
So there you go. Or Arcade Flyer. My bad. All right. Well.
Cool.
What was my score? Sorry.
You got 5. You got 5 this week.
Out of what?
Well, as many as you can do in 1 minute.
Oh, I thought it was. I don't know. Okay, so I have to try to beat 5 each time.
Yeah.
I didn't get all of them, or did I get all of them right? Sorry, I'm horrible at games. I guess.
Let's say we got all of them right, all those ones right, because Shinobi 3 was good enough. I think. Yeah.
First try.
Yeah. Nice. Let's see if you can do better next time. And people at home, let us know how many you got if you were able to score more than Scotty.
Yeah.
Before my voice croaked out on me. And with that, let's move on to our next bit, which is the news. Awesome. So, as we sort of mentioned in the last episode, we're not really here to break any big, hot Sega news, but we'd like to cover stuff that's happening in the community right now. And there's actually been a lot of stuff that broke basically just as the last episode aired. And as we're recording, I think some of these actually happened. And last week, there's just been some really hot news. So let's just crack on with it. We'll try and go through this as quickly as possible. One thing that I think is really cool is, if you've been following it, the Homebrew SEGA Mega Drive and Genesis game Daemon Claw is now available for pre-order. The Kickstarter, so this was actually a Kickstarter game, which is the copies have now gone out to Kickstarter backers. But you can now pre-order it from the Neofid Studios website, which is awesome. So there is a Mega Drive physical version, and I believe it says Mega Drive, but it works on both Genesis and Mega Drive.
Yeah, you can tell with the little notch missing or notch in it there.
You can also get a Mega Drive and Steam edition. So while this is pre-order, I believe the Steam edition is actually available immediately, or almost immediately. Yeah, you'll receive.
I can check, or is it not? I'll check while you're doing that.
Okay, cool. So yeah, basically the Steam version actually lets you play 3 versions of the game, because this was also on the Neo Geo. So you actually get PC, Neo Geo, and the Mega Drive version, which is really awesome. And I think it looks like a pretty cool game as well, if you don't know much about it. So it is basically a scrolling action game, and it's by the same team that created Demons of Asterberg and the Astrobros. I can't not remember how to pronounce that name of that game. Asterbros, yeah.
Astro Bros.
Asterbros. I'll show you that. I'll click on this actually. This will show you guys what I'm looking at. So yeah, Demons of Asterberg and the Asterbros.
Astabros. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hanging out with the Ass Bros.
But yeah, those are pretty popular games that actually came out. I want to say like
really cool cover art on all of them.
Yeah. So yeah, really cool games.
I did check on Steam. The Daemon is it Daemon Claw or Demon Claw?
So I've heard a lot of people say Daemon. It's actually meant to be pronounced Demon, because I learned about mythology when I was younger, and it's spelled Daemon, but it's actually Demon. And then the name.
Going to a shop that's spelled SHOPPE or something. Yeah,
kind of. It's like the old Latin or Greek version of the word, but it actually means something slightly different to the modern day demon as well. So a demon spelled Daemon is actually, it's like a mythical spiritual being, but it can be good or evil. Whereas a demon, like in Christianity form, is just evil basically. And that's there was a difference that was made over time. But it's meant to be pronounced demon. Unless there's actually some sort of computer thing, I'm not really sure about. Some developers or programmers, there's something called demon something, but they pronounce it Daemon to distinguish between demon and basically.
All right,
but
not gonna get this kind of hit on any other podcast, folks.
There you go, guys. That's my bit of factoid knowledge there. But yeah, I've heard people say Daemon, but it's meant to be demon.
Okay, so Daemon Claw on Steam is still showing coming soon, so maybe when you get this you just automatically have it, but it still shows coming soon. Doesn't have a date, just coming soon.
Cool.
On Steam there.
And I'll just let you folks know, the video I'm sharing there is actually by a YouTuber called Retro Gamer Boy, and if you I'll put a link to this video in the description. Near the start of the video, he's actually got a discount code for the game on screen, so if you want to get the game, you can actually get it discounted, which is really cool. So there we go.
There you go.
Yeah,
it looks pretty cool. It looks better than I don't know if I believe that'll run on a Genesis as smooth as it looks. You know what I mean? But it looks really good.
Supposedly, this is actually the Genesis version he's playing. He actually
really good.
I can rewind to the start. He's actually showing
very smooth.
He's got the actual box and the actual game and stuff, and
cool.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I sit corrected.
Yeah, they've done some really good work. The Neofid Studio guys, really cool stuff.
Yeah, it looks neat. It looks like you actually have kind of button combo type moves in this game too. Somehow you're doing uppercuts. You're uppercutting demons, so that's neat.
Yeah. So from what I understand, there's a few special moves you can do, and you can combine them. So you can do an uppercut into the air, and then you can do a special power move down and stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
There we go. That's
Demon
cool.
Claw, get it.
Yeah. The next bit of hot news is kind of off the back of what we were talking about last week, in a way, I guess, which is do with homebrew ports and stuff, and there is now a
non-Sega games on Sega consoles.
Yeah.
Is what we were talking about last time. Yeah.
So the original Metal Gear game is now being ported to the Mega Drive or Genesis, basically. And it's being ported by a guy called The Real Hoffman, is what he's known as. And yeah, you can actually download it right now from his itch.io page. It's free to download, but you can donate if you wish to. It supports multiple controllers, 3-button, 6-button, and yeah, check it out if you're curious about the original Metal Gear or you've played the original Metal Gear. Supposedly this is a pretty decent version.
Metal Gear. That's my David Hayter. There you go. That's cool though.
And speaking of ports for non-Sega games, something else quite exciting looks like it's going to happen, and that is Driver 2 coming to the Dreamcast. So as you can see from the little video we're showing, this is from Fulco Gearus's Twitter account. He's talking about the guy who's actually working on it is called Nihao Makwok. I don't know if I'm butchering that name completely.
You said it.
But yeah, apparently, so according to Falco Gearus, who worked on GTA 3 for the Dreamcast, he said even though this is looks very early and basic, it's for anyone who's not actually watching, who's listening, basically we're looking at grey and white blocky
Just
car,
polygons.
basically the polygons kind of sliding around part of a city, which is it looks very rough and ready. So that it's not really playable.
It's like how virtual racing used to look with no color.
Yeah, imagine virtual racing in black and white. That's kind of what it's looking like with square wheels. But Fulco Gearus is actually saying at this point in development, this is further along than GTA 3 was. So
wow,
it could GTA 3 came out very quickly for the Dreamcast, so this could be coming out in the next few months, maybe if development continues at a steady pace. So yeah, just watch this space. Driver 3. It's Driver 2, not Driver 3. Sorry, Driver 2.
Driver 2. Yeah, so you're thinking of Drive 3er.
Yeah,
whatever
which was a pretty fun game from memory. But
I haven't. That's cool. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, it's fine. That's kind of it. Really.
Oh yeah. I never played Driver 2. Played the crap out of Driver 1. I spent probably more time in the video editing side thing they had, because you could edit your replays and stuff. I spent more time in that than anywhere else in the game. I was actually looking at trying to figure out, this was when I got my Polymega. I'm like, there's got to be something to throw your memory card stuff onto a Polymega, but there's not yet. So I still have all my PS1 memory cards, and when I had the attachment for PS3, I transferred everything over, so I still have those replays on my PS3. So there is probably an easier. I could just stream my PS3 and then stream those videos. Sorry, I'm thinking out loud, but I could get those online somehow. Maybe I should throw those on YouTube.
That would be
or
really
something.
cool. Yeah, definitely be up for seeing that. Yeah,
but Driver 2 is still cool. I never did. That was it was on PS1, like you said. I don't know why. Oh, I think I know why. I think that wasn't that a pretty late release, like maybe 98 or something? So I
believe it's more towards the end of the PS1.
I was probably gearing up too much for the Dreamcast at that point.
Yeah. I have Driver 2, and it's okay. I remember
November 14th, 2000. Wow, that is
right,
very late in PS1's library. No wonder I didn't touch it.
Yeah. Okay. That's
There you go.
I remember not enjoying it as much.
It, though?
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it as much as the first one. I actually played it quite recently as well on my Polymega, because I was like, oh, what PlayStation 1 games have I still got? And I have Driver 2.
You have a Polymega. I forgot.
Yeah.
You are one of the 4 people in my friend circle that has a Polymega. I forgot entirely.
And the world.
Okay.
You've got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah, I'm excited to see this come out, even though I just said it's probably not the best driver game. But I'm still excited to see this stuff happen, because, whole new people can play it. And maybe, because I think the other problem with it is because it's on the PlayStation 1, Driver 2, I think, was quite ambitious. And I felt, when I was playing it, I was just like, I felt a bit more ropey at the time. Even back in the day, like when Driver 1 came out, it was like, whoa, this is like a 3D world I'm driving around in. Oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah, that was my Grand Theft Auto 3. I realize now, since we were talking about that last week. I think Driver 1 was like, this is it. And then GTA 3 came out. I was like, I already played that, you know? But
yeah. Oh, okay.
anyway,
So next up, this is kind of also following on from last week. It's not a port or anything. So last week I mentioned how I had picked up or recently acquired the VM2, which was it's released by Dream Mods. It is basically a reimagining of the Dreamcast VMU. It supports SD cards, and basically what that means is you can have like literally thousands of virtual memory cards, as it were, on this single memory card. So basically you don't really need to buy another memory card, which is great. There is actually now a new kid on the scene. Dun, dun, dun. So this is the VMUPro by 8-Bit Mods. It is currently available for pre-order. And yeah, it's going to cost about £75. I don't know how much it's going to cost in US dollars and whatnot.
81.24, baby.
Oh, okay. That's okay. It's not too much more expensive, is it? So that's pretty good.
No.
But here's the thing about this. So this is kind of similar to the VM2, but there's actually possibly even some better bits about it. So this can take up to 2 terabyte SD cards, which the VM2 could only take 32 gigabytes. But I think that's insane.
Big jump, yeah.
2 terabyte SD cards are insane because they actually say just 1 gigabyte is equivalent to 8,192 original Dreamcast memory cards.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So that's insane. So you don't need that. Basically, you could just have 1 gigabyte one.
That's every VMU ever released.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is, though, I haven't actually been able to try to test out my VM2 yet properly because I don't have a small enough SD card. All my SD cards are well over 32 gigabytes. And it only takes a maximum 32 gigabytes. So yeah, I need to try and purchase. I just need to buy one, really. But yeah, also I haven't really had time to reset things up. But yeah, so just some other quick things about this. The other great things is, so you might be able to see from the pictures and stuff, there's a bit of color there, Scotty. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah. Well, it looks like the shell's different too. I don't know if I was getting ahead of ourselves there, but
the shell, it's similar, but I think it's slightly different to the original one, but only slightly. But for those who aren't watching, who are just listening, on the screen right now is a picture of the VMUPro with Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Game Gear on screen in full color, and that's the thing. This has a full color LCD screen. It can play 8-bit games, so
that's nuts.
Game Boy, NES, Master System, Game Gear. It's been designed to be able to run emulators for those, so you can play 8-bit games. So yeah, and also you can actually make it look like it's also got like the screen can also just be sort of the grey and white or green and white, wherever it is for normal VMU games as well. But
it looks like a cell phone screen there that we're looking at right now.
Yeah, it kind of does. Yeah, because I think it's got some other things built. Has it got? I just thought actually, is it Wi-Fi? It's got built in.
This
or something?
is mostly brand new to me, I should say. I didn't know about the 8-bit games and stuff. That's crazy. I wish I wasn't saving up for a house right now.
So it's actually got Wi-Fi built into it as well, so you can transfer save files between devices and between networks.
The VM2 does not have that? Or
no.
I'm sorry, were you going to run down a comparison at the end?
I wasn't going to do a full comparison. I was just going to call out some of the cool features about this. Okay. It's also got Bluetooth in it as well. And it's got some cool features planned for it in the future. So they're looking at releasing an SDK for developing your own native VMUPro applications. So you could potentially get some... basically people like creating their own little games or apps for the VMUPro. They're looking at creating an online app store to share the apps and purchase apps and games for your VMUPro. They're looking at making additional emulators. They're looking at making a PC and Mac application that's a companion thing. They're talking about a Dreamcast docking station, which I don't even know what that means. Like, what's going on there? Like,
would that mean so you can use the wireless controllers that don't have a spot for a VMU, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
That's the only thing I can figure, because I was looking around their website and stuff, and they have so much other wireless things. The Dreamcast controllers do not have a screen screen hole. Oh boy, in them.
Oh yes,
right?
yeah. So
The 8-bit, what is it? 8-bit mods brand, I should say.
So actually, yeah, just quickly double check that, because if it's what I think you're talking about,
Unless I'm crazy.
Oh, they've got the D6
That one,
controllers, yeah.
Those are cool too, but they're always sold out.
And there's, you talk about these ones, the Striker DC ones.
Yeah, the fighter.
So
no, they should have inputs, but yeah, there's. Oh no, you can totally put one in there. I'm an idiot. I have those.
Yeah, they actually have a wireless dongle one. Have you seen this one?
Okay.
So
no, I think I knew of it.
So the wireless Striker DC controller, I've actually got one around here somewhere.
I can vamp if you need to find it, but this is a I do have some of the retro fighter controllers that they feel really good, but unfortunately they feel cheap at the same time, but they are very comfortable when you're using them. Just the surface area. The Dreamcast controller was kind of my least favorite Sega controller because it didn't feel like it was made for adult hands, because your fingers are almost touching each. It's like I've never felt comfortable holding a Game Boy because my adult fingers are too close to them now. But
okay.
But the Dreamcast controller, I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it 1,000 times. My favorite controller, flat out, new, modern, old, whatever, is the Sega Saturn 3D control pad.
Yeah.
So I feel like they downgraded slightly with the Dreamcast controller from that design.
So I do agree. I think the Saturn's 3D control pad is probably my favorite as well, but I love the Dreamcast one as well. I actually find it super comfortable for racing games. And this is not the original Dreamcast controller. Actually, I've got an original Dreamcast controller here as well.
But that's there
for some reason, when I'm holding this, it just feels nice, especially when I'm doing playing racing games. I just love it. I love the racing games on the Dreamcast. But
yeah.
In my hand is the Striker DC wireless controller, which does not have VMU in it.
Okay.
What they have
I was half right.
There's like a wireless dongle, basically. So this is what connects it wirelessly to the Dreamcast, but the dongle itself actually has the VMU port in it.
That cable is like 4 inches long, or what would you say in your land? Sorry.
Yeah, like I'm going to say 15 centimeters, maybe.
Yeah, it's so that drives me nuts, because like that was the coolest thing about the controller is the screen that you had, but instead you've got to set that like hopefully near the console.
And I found this one doesn't seem to support unofficial VMUs. So
really?
So I've got some of those those VMUs without
like
the screen in,
or Pelican or whatever. Yeah,
they don't have a screen. They've got like a little button to switch, and for some reason it just doesn't seem to support them. So I had to like wipe a VMU or transfer files from VMU to like basically clear up a VMU. Yeah. So, but yeah,
that's not ideal.
It's not ideal.
Anyway, all these new VMUs made by fans are for psychopaths like me and Graham that have 12 VMUs each. You know, I'm not joking. I have 12.
Oh,
it's dumb, but it was because it was a combination of like they barely had space, and if you were like me and you played Sonic Adventure and you had to have your Chow mini game, that's like 80% of your VMU right there. You know. And then people just kept giving them to me. Like I would just like people were getting rid of stuff, and I guess for whatever reason they didn't care about getting rid of controllers and consoles. They were like, "But this VMU's cool. I'll give it to Scotty." You know, and I'm not complaining.
I've actually bought many. I think I've got. I'm not joking. I think I've got 20 VMUs or whatever.
I believe it, because we tried to collect the different colors. You know, all that nonsense.
I didn't even care about the colors. I needed more memory for the games I was playing, because the Dreamcast was like the height of my gaming at one point. I just had so many save files and stuff, and man. Anyway, that's probably another chat for another day. But
tell me more about this Pro, the VMUPro.
Oh yeah, we could. Yeah, I think that was it. I think that's all I wanted to say.
2 terabytes is insane. Bluetooth. This is. I mean, you know, I'm gonna hop on my high horse of Sega. This is basically what they wanted to do with the VMU.
Yeah,
like they wanted to make it a PDA, a personal digital assistant, a cell phone before those were really everywhere. It was just ahead of its time. Sega was always ahead of its time. Sega was always ahead of their time, but for the detriment of themselves, unfortunately. Like we weren't ready. It's the same with a lot of Sony stuff that comes out. Like the Vita was kind of too good for us, you know what I mean? So
The Vita, I think, would have been so much more successful if they just used SD cards for the memory. Because
1000%. But they had all those Pro Duos sitting around from the cameras nobody bought, so they had to do that.
That's so annoying. Because I love my Vita. That was my favorite handheld at one point. And,
this is the. Can I tell you a short side story relating to Pro Stick Duos? When I was doing interviews for Sega Addicts at Penny Arcade Expo, PAX East, there was a moment where the only camera I could find that had a wireless mic, the only camcorder, because phones really didn't have attachments and stuff. This was like 2011, and they weren't everywhere that you could find one for an iPhone to hook up a microphone for interviews. So I bought a Sony camcorder that had a wireless or Bluetooth type of microphone so that I could use that while my buddy filmed me during interviews. And the memory card they took was a Pro Stick Duo. And when I was checking footage in the hotel for the PAX show, and one of the cards was just not reading. So I'm like, I have 2 cards. This is almost full. I don't have enough space. What am I going to do? Look up where's a GameStop nearby, because they're still selling Pro Stick Duos for pre-owned PSPs. So because of Sony and their whacked out proprietary crap, my roommate, he was in my freaking wedding, my buddy Brawley, we zip down to the mall, find the GameStop, buy the only Pro Stick Duo, put it in the camera, and I'm 10 minutes late to the freaking interview I had to do. Thanks, Sony.
Oh man, yeah, they
so
really
absurd. Sorry, you just like unlocked that memory in my brain, mentioning their dumb memory cards.
Oh, we will rage about those another day, I think.
I'll tell you the interview another time, as you can watch it and see like I'm a little frazzled.
But so that's it. I don't think we need to cover much more of the VMUPro. Check it out.
No, I want one. Unfortunately, I really want one of these. I'm kind of glad I waited on the 2 and this popped up.
Yeah, and I think it's cheap. I could be wrong. I can't remember how much the 2 costs now.
You just had it up, wasn't it? Like between 80 and
it's 80 euros. So yeah, roughly around the same price in a way, I guess. Between the color, the memory, and Bluetooth Wi-Fi, that's worth it. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
You can. Oh, I don't think. Did we mention the Kickstarter or was it Indiegogo or something? Like people already have them that backed it initially, but now it's pre-orderable for the public.
Oh, were you talking about the VMUPro or the VM2?
The Pro.
I didn't realize that was.
Yeah, it was just on the Shiro show I was watching. One of the Sega guys were on there, and he was literally holding it on camera.
That's awesome. I wish I jumped on that.
I hope I'm not horribly mistaken. I would try to look, but my computer might chug to load a video, so I don't want to risk it.
Okay.
But I do know that they are shipping, if not already in the hands of early adopters, but you can pre-order them now. And golly. Oh, we didn't even mention they're in different colors as well.
Yeah, there's a few different colors. There is... I've just forgotten what they are. There's white, the classic sort of white. They have frost white, which is basically see-through white. Actually, I could bring up the screen. So what am I doing?
I kind of like the pink one.
So, actually, our camera's in the way, but yeah, we've got the frost white one. Annoyingly, on the website, you can't just go to it and then choose the color. You have to choose the color.
No, they each have their own SKU or something.
Yeah, and then you got the sort of this pink, frost pink. So that's like a transparent pink one.
For your Hello Kitty Dreamcast
cool.
or Soccer Rewards Dreamcast.
And Frost Blue, which again is like a see-through blue. You've also got Frost Emerald, I'm going to guess that's called. Or it's just called Emerald Green, which is also a transparent green kind of color.
I think cool. I would honestly, if I was going to grab one of these, I would get it in a color that I don't have of any other VMU, just so that I easily know which one to grab. You know?
Smoke black, which is kind of a slightly transparent black, and then you've got solid black and classic white, which is like the original Dreamcast VMU color.
I'd probably do the clear white. Which one would you pick?
Oh, I quite like the.
I do like the pink though.
I like the smoke black. I also like the frost blue. Actually, I like the pink, blue, and green ones. Are actually probably my favorites. Looking at them. Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably get the pink one because that's so distinct from all the other ones I've got.
Right, super easy to find.
Yeah.
So, all right, if everybody wants to start backing us on Patreon, we can afford these VM Pros. I guess that's what I'm going to call it, a VM Pro, because that's quicker.
Yeah, fair enough. Was this actually available on Kickstarter? I can't see any information about that.
Wasn't that involved in a little old? Oh, what am I looking at here? I thought there was a article we had about it. I guess I'm crazy.
So the VM2
I found it
was
somewhere.
the VM2 was. I know that for sure.
Yeah, give me 20 seconds and I will tell you.
Okay.
Okay, I found the article I was thinking of. On time extension. Thursday pre-orders because live soon. Yada yada yada. Original story. Maybe not. Maybe I'm crazy.
So I know, yeah. So the VM2, which I'm showing on screen right now, was on Indiegogo. That ended a while ago. October 2022.
Oh,
That's
my
when that
bad.
ended. So
My
maybe
bad.
that's the one you're going. Maybe that's the one you're thinking about. Because from what I'd read, because this was kind of just, from what I could tell, this was just announced literally just a couple of days ago. Basically, hey,
Yeah,
VMUPro is available for pre-order. I was like, what?
So I'll send you this article, Graham. I'm throwing it into the Discord. Time Extension has an article where the VMUPro was first shown off in October of 2024. And it was just literally the board with a screen on it, and they of course had Doom running on it. And then yada yada yada. Yeah, they mentioned how they started with, because they've done like PlayStation memory cards with little digitized screens on them and stuff, and they mentioned how this is their next project and everything. So that was back in October and November. So yeah, oh, they've got GameCube memory cards with screens on them. Oh, a buddy of mine has one of those. They're pretty nice. So this company does cool stuff, 8-bit mods.
Wow, that is actually really cool.
Yeah, I do apologize. I completely misspoke. I was thinking of the VM2s rather than the pros. My bad.
And just what I was mentioning before about, my Retro Fighter dongle thing not working with unofficial VMUs, in this Twitter post.
Oh, it shows it.
That's with the Doom. Yeah. It's actually showing the base unit running, yes, on this. So that's
very cool.
It's very good. That's also cool. That means I can use the new controller that's wireless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk about something else because I really want one of these.
Nice. So yeah, the next bit of news, which is actually going to be our main feature discussion, is all about Ecco the Dolphin. So the frustrating thing about this is we recorded the last episode, and just after we recorded it, I sent Scotty a message going, "Look what news just broke." Basically,
day up, like hours later, not even. Yeah. Which is very strange because didn't we record on like a Saturday or something? Or am I crazy? What day of the week did we record?
I can't even remember now.
No, it was a Monday, which was still weird because normally news breaks on Tuesdays.
But yeah, I think it broke because it wasn't actually an official announcement. It was actually like
an interview.
It was an interview, and then someone picked up and went, "Whoa, this is happening!" And then it spread like wildfire. You might be thinking, if you've seen the last episode, that didn't come out the same day. It took me a while to actually edit the first episode, so I apologize.
Yeah, behind the curtain.
We're very behind the curtain there, behind the times. But with that, Scotty, let's get into the water cooler. Back.
Shuffle around. Hello.
Scotty loves to talk during the intro.
Sorry.
Cool. So yeah, Ed Annunziata has made some. Annunziata. Am I getting that? Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Oh, I thought you paused because you weren't sure. Sorry.
No, Ed Annunziata has made waves recently with his announcement, and we're here to break it down, I guess. So, if you don't know, let's get my screen share going. Let's do that again. So basically, there seems to have broken from an Xbox Wire interview that happened recently. There's it's only a handful of questions, really. It's not actually that big. But if you scroll down, the last question is, what does the future hold for gaming's favorite dolphin? And Ed replies, me and the entire original team are going to remaster the original Ecco the Dolphin and Tides of Time games. we will then we will make a new third game, even though there's already been a third game, with contemporary play and GPU sensibilities. Stay tuned to eccothedolphin.com, and there is a website, eccothedolphin.com, which our logo's in the way. Sorry, 1 second. Which right now is kind of looks like deep underwater, tiny little bubbles floating up, and there's a counter in the bottom left corner, which is a very long countdown by the looks of it. Is that 8,152?
8,152 hours to get. No, shit.
Yeah, it's hours.
What is that, days?
No, that's hours. Because the next one is minutes.
That just changed over the minute. Yeah, only 8,000 some hours to go, guys. Yeah. It looks. I was gonna say the screen just looks like the beginning of your Seaman tank. The game, not the game. The game.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Move on quickly. So yeah, that basically was what happened. Actually, how long is that? Oh my god, 8,000.
I think whenever they put it out, it was exactly 1 year from the site launching.
Okay. Yeah. So the number we got right now, 8,152, is just under a year. So yeah, I think it was a year. So basically, in nearly a year's time.
Hopefully, what day was that?
Ecco the Dolphin's going to come out. So that was Monday. Was it Monday the... Good grief.
Whoops. Didn't mean to do that. I was about to close my laptop to look at the calendar behind it, but I realized, that's my camera. You're just going to see nothing for 30 seconds. It was Monday the 5th.
Oh, was it?
Because we recorded on Monday the 5th, and then you got the episode out on the 9th. I do recall.
Okay, fair enough. There we go. That's cool. Yeah. I
think.
Nice.
So a wave of change.
So basically, for the main talk for this...
Yeah, there you go. There's the date of the article, May 5th.
Oh, yeah, May 5th. Okay, cool. Yeah, it was May 5th. So what we want to do for this episode is we actually want to look back at Ecco the Dolphin. It's one of those games that I believe a lot of gamers, especially if you grew up in the 90s, you'd know about Ecco the Dolphin. A lot of people did play it. But it's probably not such a big IP these days. I mean, there hasn't been a new game in 20 years or something, 25 years, 24 years, not since the Dreamcast. And I think it's something that's worth looking back at and sort of seeing why it's such an iconic character. And so just a very brief intro to Ed. If you don't know Ed Annunziata, he is the creator of Ecco the Dolphin. He came up with the idea. He joined Sega back in 1990-ish, around then, and he actually joined and started working on various games. Some of them were really popular, like Spider-Man was his first game that he actually worked on, which is a really great... It's one of my favourite Spider-Man games, actually. That and Spider-Man 2 on the Xbox and PlayStation 2. And then Shakan the Forever Man, which was... which was actually a pretty good game back in the day from memory, but very tough game.
I don't think I ever played it. I just remember the cover.
And then he got he worked on Dungeons and Dragons, Warriors of the Eternal Sun. And those were the first 3 games when he worked at Sega. And I don't know if you know this, Scotty, but apparently there's a rumor, I don't know if it actually was on the first day, but there's sort of a thing that's come out that basically said, when he first joined, he was he went up to his boss and said, I've kind of got an idea for a game. It's about a dolphin. And everyone said, go away. And
that sounds about right.
He actually was talking in an interview, and he actually said how he described how there was one evening he went out with his boss, and they had a meal together. They were drinking a bottle of wine. And he sort of started trying to pitch his game to them. And they sort of said, basically said, who would want to play as an effing fish, basically.
Right.
And there's a lot of pushback. People just didn't get the idea. But eventually they gave him a green light to create a prototype. And the prototype apparently was just he managed to get the basics of Ecco moving, the synthwave style moving that a dolphin makes. And but it wasn't a fully fledged game or anything. But he showed that to his bosses at Sega, and apparently they loved it. They were actually like, "Hey, this might have some weird pun legs to it." So that's kind of how it got started, effectively. And I really want to run through the crazy plot with you, Scotty, if that's okay.
Yeah, I was trying to find a word for the aesthetic that Ecco really is, because if you've ever seen a picture that has like a marble floor and marble columns, but there's also random pinks and blues and waterfalls and stuff. That is Ecco.
Yeah.
Does that make? Do you know what I'm talking about though? Like the weird shiny 80s 90s kind of aesthetic.
Yes. Yeah. I totally get what you mean. Actually. Yeah.
And I thought there was a word for it, and I'm like sitting here trying to find, and the closest thing I found was glow wave. So maybe that's it. I don't know. Anyway, I
Okay.
did purposely not look at the outline because I started to read some of this, and then I was like, Graham, I think you need to tell me about this to get my genuine reaction because it sounds insane.
Okay. So
I'm ready. I've buckled up.
I've also tried to pull together a little video to play in the background, which snips apart things. So here's the thing about Ecco the Dolphin. It's a very tough game. Even people back in the day who grew up with games didn't really complete it. Some people did, obviously. But we'll talk about it a bit later. Scotty, you've got a little factoid for everyone. I've seen in the outline. But essentially, it was a tough as balls games. And a lot of people don't really know what Ecco the Dolphin's about. They see this beautiful dolphin in like a kind of semi-realistic aquatic world. Could be pretty boring. What's going on there? So I'm going to try and run through the storyline as quickly as possible. And
Sure.
let's go for it. So
Let's do it.
you play as Ecco the Dolphin. You at the start of the game, you're swimming around. You jump in the air. Suddenly your entire pod gets sucked up by a storm. You are just left behind. You're swimming around in an ocean pretty much empty. But then you find a few orcas. There are a few other animals around. There's an orca who basically tells you to go and speak to the Big Blue. It's very vague. Go to speak to the Big Blue. You've got to go to some undercaves to find him. It's basically Ecco's on his journey. He has to go past a very giant octopus very slowly. That's a key point in the game. On the journey, you find that the Big Blue has swum to the north to die.
As you do.
Yep. So so there we go. Big Blue swims north to die. Swim fast, young singer. So you've got to try and get to meet the Big Blue. Big Blue's actually like in the Arctic, basically. So you swim to the Arctic.
This is the aesthetic I was talking about. Sorry.
Basically, the Big Blue is a giant Big Blue whale. He tells Ecco that this storm appears every 500 years, but he doesn't know why. He then tells Ecco to go and speak to the oldest thing in the ocean, which is the asteroid. And yeah, basically, that's the oldest thing there is. Older than I, he says. Older than I. And he's located in deep water, so then you're going to have to swim down to very deep water. And I'm just going to skip forward in my video. Oh, wait. Actually, I've just skipped. Oh, wait. Oh, no, I skipped too far. Oh, no.
Ecco was hanging out in Marble Garden Zone.
So then you swim away, you swim into the deep ocean, and then the asteroid turns out to be like this giant DNA double helix type thing that lives underwater, that's made of giant orbs and stuff.
Of course.
And he tells Ecco that basically he's like, oh, I know you. I'm the one who actually sent you, basically. And there's a whole confusing thing. Basically, there's a time machine. And he tells you to basically go and travel to Atlantis, where the Atlanteans created this time machine. And because you need to basically help the asteroid, because he is missing part of his globe, like a little rock that forms him. So he hasn't got his full powers and he can't help you right now. So you have to travel back in time. You have to travel to Atlantis, travel back in time to try and help him. When you go to Atlantis, you find out more information about what the hell's going on, because you still actually don't know what's happening right now, by the way. Basically, the Atlanteans are losing a war against their planet Vortex. So they created this technology to travel back in time and escape. The Vortex planet is dying because it can't produce food. So every 500 years, when there's a clear path between planets, the Vortex sends a storm to suck up life on Earth. But they notice that the storm's getting bigger each time. So it's getting more and more violent, more and more dangerous. And eventually they will destroy all life on Earth. So Ecco then basically has to find his time machine. So he finds the time machine in Atlantis.
That's a time machine?
That's the time machine. He basically does it's like almost like two giant speakers reverberating.
He just hops into the middle of a pair of Beats headphones.
Basically, and he gets sent back in time 500 million years or something, or 50 million years.
Whoa, there's a pterodactyl now. Sorry.
Yep. So you're now
this is my reaction to the video and Graham's narration, everyone.
So you now have to travel back to prehistoric times.
Oh my God, Ludo wrote a song about this.
Yeah, and you can use these pterodactyls to help you fly to different areas in the prehistoric times. You then fight a giant seahorse randomly. This is not a boss, by the way. It's just a thing you have to fight.
You just killed him.
Oh,
there's no butterfly effect. Never mind. You got to talk to DNA.
And then you find the Asterite, who for some reason you have to attack now. For no reason, and you basically have to hit certain orbs, and basically hit the orbs.
Oh my gosh.
You then manage to get one of the orbs, then you get sent back to your time, back to the current time. You then take the orb back to the Asterite, and the Asterite's like, "Hey, cool! You got my orb back. This is awesome. I've now got my full powers. I can now help you defeat the Vortex." So obviously, to defeat the Vortex, you have to go back to Atlantis. To the time machine.
Yeah, obviously.
And
duh, idiot.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you?
So yeah, you go back to Atlantis, go back to the time machine.
The headphones.
You have to go back to the hour of the storm, basically at the very start of the game, when the pod gets captured. But now the Vortex is giving you some sort of powers that are going to help you defeat them. So let's just skip forward if I can a little bit. So you'll go back to the opening area. You have to. Well, here we go. Ecco's just reappearing. Yeah, there you go. Oh, my pod's back. Yay, my pod's here. Awesome. So let's just recreate the storm by jumping really high in the air. So this time when the storm happens, you don't stay behind. You get sucked up into an alien spaceship.
What the crap? We're in the Geiger's xenomorph spaceship
So yeah, basically the aliens totally aren't the aliens from Alien, but they are.
Oh my God, I remember seeing this. This was legitimately terrifying seeing this final boss for the first time.
So the final boss is basically the Mother Vortex. She has a giant floating head. You have to shoot her eyes. Then you have to break her. Then you have to break her jaw, and then you have to give a few headbutts on the head, on the forehead.
What the crap?
And that defeats the Vortex Queen, and then you and your pod escape together. You can leave the Vortex. Are they flying? Their Vortex seem to live underwater in the spaceship. That's the best I can come up with.
So they're still swimming.
They're still swimming.
Okay.
They're still swimming, and this is the end of the game basically. And this you don't have any control over it now.
That's the whole game.
That was. Basically, by the way, this is many levels.
That's so short.
No. This is many levels.
All right.
I've just skipped like 20 levels, by the way, or something ridiculous. This is a very quick run through of the key points, basically. And then at the very end of the game, you don't really have control over it. Ecco talks to different people, and yeah, you just get more after the story.
You mean dolphins?
Yeah, I say people, I mean dolphins. Sorry.
I mean, Ecco's probably had conversation with humans at this point, but whatever.
So yeah, there we go. And that's
insane.
That is Ecco the Dolphin. So I'll leave that video playing for a little bit longer in the back. But yeah, that seems really short. It's going to take you a few. I think if you're really good at the game,
it's one of the most obtuse games I've ever played, and probably most people.
Yeah. Because it's very, if people haven't played it, they don't really give you any direction. You have to talk to different animals. You have to find these glyph things which give you some information. A lot of the levels are like mazes. Some of them are literally mazes, or crystals, whatever they're called.
Yeah.
So yeah, you basically have to work it out and just swim around and speak to whatever you can. Just try and work out what you're doing. And there's some levels where you have to like hit the crystals to move them, but you don't really know what it's doing. But it turns out you have to hit several different crystals in different spots, and then that unlocks the end of the level, for example. Yeah, it's a wild ride. It's not what you expect when you first see the game. You're like, happy little dolphin swimming around, and really good. And fun little facts for those who don't know. The composer is Spencer Nielsen. He's done quite a lot of work on a lot of different games. But to get inspiration for Ecco, he listened to Pink Floyd's album "Wish You Were Here." And apparently at times he actually listened to the album while watching footage of the game, and that kind of gave him a bit of inspiration for the actual music in the game. And I think if you're into Pink Floyd and stuff, you could probably actually get that sense of vibe like from the game, because the music is very eerie, kind of it works so well, I think, with the game.
I was going to ask how many drugs were they on in the making of this game, but if all you did was listen to Pink Floyd, then by association, there you go. Secondhand, whatever. Oh, Al Nielsen, there he is.
Yeah, there he is.
I was introduced to Ecco by my babysitter at the time.
Okay.
And she really liked Ecco and saw that we had a Sega Genesis, so I think she brought that over after the fact and stuff. But
Ooh.
um, I never, I never knew anyone that was like into those games out of my friends. I mean, because
Yeah.
it was just they're so confusing. They don't tell you anything, but it's like it's not going from left to right. You really do just explore. You didn't feel like you accomplished anything until you found a spot on the edge of the wall or screen that you had
Mm.
that you couldn't get past.
Yeah.
And then you're like, how do I get past here? Let me talk to everything and somehow not die by sharks or other stuff attacking me that doesn't make sense. But um, yeah, just insane. Wow.
Yeah. It's
That
there's.
is mhm.
Let's see if I can find. Oh no, where is it?
And then you fight
Uh,
DNA for some reason. But
yeah.
he's all I ever did in the game in the first game was try to see how high I can do flips out of the water.
Oh
That
yeah.
was that's my Ecco the Dolphin.
Yeah. That's one of the things I think when I first started playing, I basically just jumped between the different pool areas, I guess.
Yeah, you
Like,
would just there was one part you had to jump over the rocks and
yeah,
stuff.
and
Yeah.
that's kind of what I got used to doing. But I remember getting, I won't say reasonably far, but I managed to speak to the big blue whale at one point. I remember that, and it didn't show in the
Nice.
video, but the big blue whale was huge. It was genuinely a massive. It goes across multiple screens, and for its time, that was like incredible. That it's like whoa.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's a big visual
mm,
set piece, this game. It's
yeah,
just insane how it does a good job of creating scope, I would say.
yeah,
Or not or scope and scale, if that's And I
yes, yeah.
think it doesn't this doesn't tie to it, but the ocean's always freaked me out. Like I'm genuinely scared of deep water. It
Oh
is a
yeah,
fear of mine and stuff. Thanks, Goosebumps, the Goosebumps book. But like no, there's still so much we do not know about down there.
oh
Like
yeah.
they just for the first time I think got footage of the world's biggest squid or whatever.
What?
I forget. It has a name. It might just be giants. I don't think it's just giant squid. I forget. But have fun googling that, everybody. For your own nightmares. Squid. One of the more intelligent creatures, but also one of the freakier ones to me, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But yeah, that's Ecco One. Ecco. Did it have a? I think it was just called Ecco, right? The
Ecco the
first game,
Dolphin. It's called Ecco the
just Ecco the
Dolphin.
Dolphin,
Ecco
right?
the Dolphin,
Gotcha.
yeah. And I can give you another little quick fun facts too. Number 2 for Ecco the Dolphin.
Do it.
So, Ecco the Dolphin actually has stars on his forehead. Like there's
Yes,
some markings.
the Big Dipper, or am I crazy?
No, but you're
Oh,
kind of close in a way. Actually, I'm going to see if I can bring up a quick screenshot or.
yeah. Hit up
Dolphin.
Echo's Facebook page. See if he's got a selfie on there.
So we've got any
Is
pictures?
Echo a guy? What's Echo's gender? I just
I
keep calling him a guy.
believe male, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
1, 2, 3. I'm counting the stars.
Okay, I'm just going to bring up on screen here as well.
It was also interesting when Echo came out because it wasn't trying to be Sonic. It was not another anthropomorphized animal.
Yes, and that is actually the some of the pushback that Ed actually had.
Oh,
Apparently.
really? Not
He was
90s
saying,
enough.
so basically,
Punch.
all like there were animal characters, obviously, they existed, like Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff, but
Yeah.
they were all anthropomorphic and they all had, almost human-like qualities to them. Some games had they had guns and stuff like that, but he wanted to make a game where you were just a dolphin. He didn't want anything like too well. I was about to say not too crazy, but it was clearly crazy. But he didn't want a dolphin that could skateboard or walk on water or something weird like that. He wanted it.
What was wrong with them not wanting a dolphin that can skateboard?
But he was talking about like how this actually came when they were making the game. They did like other games you had like inventories and stuff like that, and characters would carry weapons and things. You couldn't do that in Ecco the Dolphin. So they had to come up with
there's
innovative
nothing on
ways.
the screen really.
Yeah, so there's no real HUD other than your life and your air. And that was the other thing, because they're mammals, they need to breathe air, so they tried to make it realistic in certain ways, which is awesome. But just for anyone listening, on the screen right now, we do actually have a picture of Ecco the Dolphin. I quickly grabbed from the website. So he has like there's 5 sort of stars basically in a formation on his forehead. They are. So you were actually kind of close when you said the Big Dipper. They're actually the same pattern as the constellation Delphinus, which is Latin for dolphin. And Ed originally considered naming the character after the constellation. So the character was probably going to be actually originally called Delphinus. But then they went with Ecco.
That's too close to penis.
But yeah, they went with Ecco partly, I think, because it sounded cool, but also to do with the Ecco sonar that dolphins have.
That just,
and, the
yeah, it made more sense to me. The echolocation,
it makes a lot more sense.
I even like how. When did the first Ecco come out? I'm sorry.
It was 1992.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I was 7. I still, even then as a kid, I knew echolocation, and that just made sense. Or I just connected like, oh yeah, Ecco the Dolphin, echolocation is what they use.
Yeah.
So.
And
fun and educational.
Exactly. And then should we move quickly on to Ecco II, Tides of Time? Quick chat about that.
This one I never played. I wanted to try to beforehand. Full disclosure, everybody, I fully planned on playing all of these beforehand, didn't get a shot at it. Ecco II, Tides of Time, the Sega CD version is on the Genesis Mega Drive Mini 2. And that was where I was going to play it, but I just didn't have a chance to sit down. Nice. I wonder if there's even genuinely major differences between the Genesis and the Sega CD version. But
I know for the original Ecco the Dolphin game, there were some added areas and the music was better quality, obviously. But I don't know if
I can look
I think the controls might have been slightly improved as well, actually.
Oh, really?
So Ecco II, Tides of Time, I will quickly run through the story, but I'll do it quicker. I haven't got the video matched up to this one, so I'll just quickly go through it. But basically, it's equally weird as the first one, because it actually continues directly on from Ecco 1. So, starting on from Ecco 1, you've got all your powers from the first game, you're swimming around, then there's like a big earthquake. It turns out the asteroid has been killed, and Ecco suddenly loses all his powers. And then he meets a weird dolphin that is from the future, who has very, very long flippers. And it turns out that it's descendants of Ecco's, and they have come from a future where dolphins can fly, and the ocean has some sort of conscious mind of its own, and it's connected through waterways that traverse the sky. So that's where dolphins now live in the sky because they have helium sacs in them and they can fly around, and there's also water that can swim in as well. So there you go. While in the future, Ecco's cruising around, he meets the asteroid, but it's a different asteroid. It's the same asteroid, but it's a different asteroid because it turns out in the first game when Ecco went back in time, he split time in two. So the Tides of Time.
Yeah, because he killed that seahorse, you idiot. Sorry.
So there's one future where the asteroid has survived and dolphins like live in peace and they live in the sky and they can fly and stuff now. The other one, which is actually Ecco's original timeline, it turns out the Vortex Queen has survived and she's the one who killed the asteroid. So basically in Ecco's potential future, the Vortex are going to kill the planet and it's just skipped to a different video. Oh no, that's a different. Sorry, never mind. I'll just go back to start this one. There's that crazy flipper lady. Okay, Mister.
Was that the boss?
So can you see the dolphin on screen right now? That's the future
Can I
dolphin.
Say something I learned watching the speed run I was able to?
Yeah.
Apparently the dolphin you talked to in the beginning is your future son.
Oh, it's your future son. Oh, okay.
Ecco's future son talks to you. I mean, that's what the speedrunners said. I forget their names. I apologize, but that's what I did for my research. Was I watched the speed run of Tides of Time.
Fair enough. For some reason, I thought it was a female you meet at the beginning, but maybe it's a daughter then, or something. I
know.
Daughter,
I thought at one point it was one of Ecco's sons.
Okay, it's some sort of relation. Oops. Yeah,
right.
But yeah. So what was I saying? So basically in Ecco's timeline, the Vortex are going to kill the planet and turn it into a more mechanical world. So the game essentially involves Ecco going back to his own time to try and repair the asteroid in his timeline and stop the Vortex. Do you want me to tell you about the ending of the game because it's pretty crazy, or do you want me to? I
mean, it's not spoilers for me. I guess spoilers for a 35-year-old game, everybody. Sorry.
There you go.
Go for it.
So basically, once in the game, you go back and try and you have to find some of the globes for the asteroid to game, at multiple globes this time. Once the asteroid is healed, Ecco gets his powers back, and he and his pod go to fight the Vortex. Ecco fights the Vortex Queen and kills her.
What is
or
happening?
defeats her.
Sorry, he was doing backflips in the air, like jumps off of clusters of stars. Anyway.
And then basically the asteroid, once you've defeated the Vortex Queen, the asteroid tells him to go and destroy the Atlantean time machine so the streams of time won't get split again. When Ecco goes back to Atlantis, it turns out the Vortex Queen has survived. What a twist. But she's now in a larvae form, which is weird. And
she
so,
did what? She's in lava? What?
Like larvae.
Larvae. Okay,
like,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, a small
bugs.
Like a
baby bugs,
pupating form or whatever.
Yeah, gross thing.
Yeah, a baby form basically of her bigger self.
The child of Biff Tannen. Gotta get him.
So then you have to try and race her back to the time machine, or and
now you're a bird.
Oh yes, that's the other thing. Yeah, in this game you can actually transform into multiple creatures as well.
You turn into animals, other animals besides dolphins. This is insane.
So when you race back to the time machine, the Vortex Queen actually uses the time machines first, and she travels back to prehistoric times, kind of like what Ecco did in the first game. But in her larvae form, she cannot rule over the dinosaurs and other creatures. She's forced to basically live, adapt, and survive on Earth back in prehistoric times. And then through the ages, the Vortex are integrated into the planet's ecosystems of anthropods, which are small invertebrates with exoskeletons, like small little creatures, basically. So that's how they evolve. But come back to the current time, come back where Ecco still is in the current time. Ecco decides to ignore the asteroids.
Screw you.
Yeah, like instructions.
Hops on his skateboard and flips on the bird.
And he decides not to destroy the time machine. Instead, he uses it and then vanishes into an unknown era. That's the end of the game.
What? No, it's not. Liar. I don't believe it.
I thought
there was a fake ending or something.
Maybe that's the fake ending. Time. What a twist.
Yeah, there's it pretends to end. Unless we already went through that part.
I don't know. This is my understanding of how crazy that game is.
I thought you were. I wasn't actually angry. I thought you were trying to pull a fast one on me.
No.
With that. Well, while you double check, I found the differences between the two is mainly the soundtrack, and that combining the music from the first two games, you can purchase Ecco Songs of Time actually on Spencer Nielsen's website.
Ooh.
So there you go. I guarantee you it will not be cheap. Let me find out. Am I saying his name correctly? Did I spell any of that correctly? I thought you could get it on his site, unless I'm just so crazy. Yeah, SpencerNielsen.com. Oh, it is. Oh, you can get Ecco Songs of Time Extremely Limited Edition autographed CD on Spencer Nielsen's website for $68.97. There is, doesn't say how many tracks are on there. Yeah, I thought there was a fake ending to it, but there's your factoid. I just randomly found. Everybody enjoy, I guess.
Yes, I'm just trying to find. Oh, it's a secret password. Okay, hold on a second.
As the pod celebrates their victory over the vanquished Vortex, Ecco returns to the asteroid and is told to go to Atlantis, destroy the time machine. Arriving in Sunken City, the Vortex Queen uses the time machine and sends it. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, no, you're right. Into an unknown era. I'm sorry. Well, then the speedrunners, maybe they flew through stuff, and I thought that was the ending. Okay. Wow. What? This man, Ed Annunziata, someone hand him a camera because video games were not the medium for him to tell this story in. We need a movie of Ecco the Dolphin. The game. The movie.
Okay, here we go. Here's the epilogue.
Epilogue. The Queen retreats within her machine. When Ecco leaves... Wait, let me make this bigger so it's easier for me to read. When Ecco leaves, she escapes in the form of a vortex larva. The Queen makes her way to the sunken city of Atlantis. She finds the time machine and escapes into Earth's past. When the Queen arrives in the prehistoric era, she encounters creatures that she cannot rule. She has no choice but to live within the life cycles of the Earth. And through the eons, the vortex kind integrate within the life on Earth. Ecco finds the time machine in the city of Forever. Instead of destroying it, he uses it and disappears into the tides of time.
Whoa. That's such
Next
crazy.
time on Dragon Ball Z.
Like, that's like
What the crap?
the weirdest ending to any game, surely.
This game is insane. And they do the gameplay, for people who were watching, you saw Ecco from like a top down view. One of the bosses, which I guess you don't even fight because he's invincible, actually. You're kind of flying upward and like jumping through one of these sky currents, I'll just call them, where the water's in the sky. And I think you have to just escape. I don't think you can actually defeat him. I think it was earlier in the video, unless I'm crazy. So that just looks nuts to me. I don't know how you would figure that out. Or, well, it's one of those bosses where it's like, how do I beat him? How do I beat him? Oh, I can't. He's invincible.
Okay, yeah. Let's bring this up.
Yeah, so this is just crazy to me. Oh, and then he died. What the heck? I think he comes right back. Yeah, there you go. But it looks like you're flying up, but this is one of the like sky currents, essentially. The world, the ocean became aware. What did you say?
Yes,
self-aware, basically.
Apparently the ocean is now self-aware, and they create they've created oh god, what's the word
playing sucks at this game.
They've created waterways that traverse the sky,
like
currents.
Canals almost.
Yeah, basically they're in the sky. They're floating in the sky.
Yeah, and Ecco, it looks like you're going up. It looks like more of a top-down view than it was a sort of side view before, but you have to literally leap from spot to spot, and then at one point there is a boss on this type of area, and this just looks nuts to me. I don't know how they thought of this. This is getting around 3D. This is before 3D gaming. They got to have some sort of scope or some sort of scale of a bigger world and everything, and it's just nuts to me that they did it this way. But this game is...
For anyone who might be listening, basically Ecco is kind of sort of side on, but also top down. Ecco's going through these weird waterways, but beneath it in the background is the Earth. Basically, you can see
surface of the Earth.
Yeah, you can see mountains and oceans and islands and stuff. It's static. The Earth is static behind it, but it kind of gives this idea of that you're really high in the sky, basically swimming really high in the sky. It's pretty cool.
That's all nuts and amazing that it got made, because it just wouldn't happen today.
Is it moving slightly in the background? I feel like the sky's getting bigger. Am I just making that up in my head as I'm watching it? Maybe I'm tripping out.
I think that's an optical illusion.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
It looks really cool though. What they're doing looks really good.
It's a very artistic game.
Yeah. Yeah, and another little fun fact for you for Ecco 2 Tides of Time. There is a level on this game called New Machine, which is named after a 2-part song on Pink Floyd's album, 1987 album, A Momentary Lapse of Reason. So another little bit of inspiration from Pink Floyd there for you. So, yeah. We know what vinyls they had on in the background. Okay.
All right.
So... we'll go through this next one very quickly because I've never actually played this one, and let's do it. So, Ecco Jr. In 1995, they released Ecco Jr., which is basically a stripped-down version of the original Ecco the Dolphin made for kids. You basically see a younger version of Ecco who speaks to the big blue whale again, but it's very basic. You basically have to do sort of very simple tasks like herding seahorses, swimming through rings, looking for lost balls and stuff like that. It's similar to our Ecco the Dolphin games, but basically you're solving simple puzzles and problems. Unlike the original... Oh, what were you going to say?
Sorry, I didn't know you heard that. I was going to give an idea of how much of a kid's game it is. In North America, it was released under the Sega Club moniker.
Ooh, nice. But yeah, it's like in the original game, as we mentioned before, you can actually drown. In Ecco Jr, you can't. So you've got unlimited air. So it's much more simplified. And wow, my computer just gave a really loud noise.
Sorry, that was me messaging you in Messenger. Apparently, we have those alerts on.
Okay, let's mute my alerts.
I was trying to send you the cover, and you could just get that at your leisure. But now the world knows that you received it. Jeez, oh man.
What is?
Why is that so small?
Assist. Okay. Right.
It's so small too. Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also no enemies in the game that attack you, so you don't have the scary sharks or anything attacking you, which is good for young kids. And there's two other playable characters. There's a baby orca and a bottlenose dolphin.
Oh, nice.
Oh no, sorry, an Atlantic dolphin. Sorry. And there is a password system, a bit like the original games, but all the passwords are actually included in the instruction manual. And there's actually a parents menu, which includes all like difficulty settings, level selection, and facts about real dolphins. So there you go. So yeah, basically it was a kids game. And I'm going to follow up very quickly with another fun fact, which I think is awesome. So basically in a comment on a YouTube video, Ed actually said, oh God, sorry, start that again. So with regards to Ecco Jr, in another video 7 years ago, someone put up a history of Ecco the Jr, basically, and Ed actually commented on the video saying, great video. I made Ecco Jr because my daughter, who was 4 at the time, was terrified of all my other games. And so basically that's why he made Ecco Jr. He wanted to make something for kids, something that his daughter could play, which I think is really sweet. And like, also imagine having that kind of control at your work, basically saying, yeah, I'm just going to make another game because my daughter doesn't like more stuff. Like that's, I think that's pretty cool.
It was terrifying to adults.
Yeah, it really was. It's
like that underwater spider or whatever. There's something crazy in there.
Yeah, there was some underwater crab thing. I think are they crabs or spiders? There's definitely something that freaked me out in the first game.
If you have arachnophobia, you're going to hate that part.
Yeah, basically. Oh yeah, sorry, that was actually commented on Slope's Game Room video, which I'll link to in the description, basically. So, unfortunately, we never saw an Ecco game on the Sega Saturn. But did you know that they released a promo VHS, which did actually have CG?
Oh, shoot. A VHS. I collect those now. This is horrible.
So it's a VHS promo for the Sega Saturn. And it is basically just Ecco the Dolphin. Let's skip forward a tiny bit. This is boring stuff about Sega Saturn chipsets. There we go. And so, yeah, it's this.
Oh, no.
Quite like visuals that the Sega Saturn could not do for starters, but it's a CGI version of an Ecco the Dolphin swimming through the water, getting trapped by the looks of it. Doing some sort of whirlwind attack or something.
Is he? This is all very. Oh my! This is very CG, which seems unfortunate because most CG back then was like, look at these fish, look at these clouds. You know.
Yeah, it's quite an engaging CG thing. Like back then, I think it would have been really cool. But yeah, it looked pretty terrible.
I can't tell what the game would have been though. Like, did they ever say what type of gameplay it was gonna fall under or anything?
I don't think there was any development ever made for it. It was literally just hey, this is kind of a thing that could happen, couldn't it, on the Sega Saturn? Because we do cool 3D graphics.
Yeah,
that's as far as I know about that. Actually, I don't know if there was actually any development that happened for it or anything like that. Yeah. So there we go.
That's pretty nuts. I was trying to find the tape itself, but I can't seem to find. So it was probably just passed around and had barely a label on it.
And then moving on to the year 2000, we actually have
2000.
We have Ecco the Dolphin, Defender of the Future on the Sega Dreamcast.
Yep.
And this is kind of like some intro videos and stuff, basically.
I played this one.
So yeah, this is probably the Ecco that I've played the most, and I nearly completed as well. I genuinely love Defender of the Future. I think it's a brilliant game, not just an Ecco game, just a brilliant game in general. I've always loved it since it came out. But essentially, if you don't know, Ed wasn't actually involved in Defender of the Future, but the development studio and some of the original team behind the original game's developments were involved. The development studio for the original games was called Novo Trade International, but that actually became Appaloosa Interactive, who's the ones who actually made
Three Dirty Dwarfs. I think they've made a bunch of stuff on Saturn.
Yes, yeah, Three Dirty Dwarfs. So yeah, actually Ed voiced one of the characters on Three Dirty Dwarfs. That's a game he worked on as well.
Okay.
I think that was the last game that he made on a Sega platform, actually. Then he moved to PlayStation 1.
Oh, really? That one's another tough as nails game.
Yeah. I think most of Ed's games are really tough.
Yep.
But
Well, you had the quote for the reason behind that, but sorry, go ahead.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that I guess we'll talk about that in a second. But for Defender of the Future, I'm not going to go through the whole story, but it's got similarities to the original games. It's more seen of a reboot of the franchise, though. There's talk about how dolphins and humans actually sort of live in harmony together and stuff, and a lot of dolphins and humans travel into space to explore other planets.
Okay.
Leaving behind some caretaker dolphins, which is what Ecco is, and there's like a special crystal thing called the Guardian. And basically, the enemies in this are not the Vortex; they're called the Foe. They attack. They manage to destroy this Guardian crystal, which affects basically the planet. And it involves time travel again, going to different sort of timelines and stuff. Like Ecco travels to a timeline in like a future where, machines like I think humans don't like dolphins in that timeline, and they subjugate the dolphins and make them like connected to like machines and things like that. There's also really cool level.
Mnemonic.
Yeah,
sorry.
Kind of. There's a really cool level which I was going to show you now, which is kind of based off the Ecco 2 times the time thing that we were looking at before, which is where they actually have waterways in the sky.
Oh my gosh, this looks terrifying.
It's awesome. This was such a fun game. Basically you have these giant. It's now a 3D game, obviously. So you have these giant tubes of water that are floating. And,
I can't imagine how hard that was to portray adequately.
and there's like you get some areas where there's like big giant balls of water. Sometimes you get like floating islands with pools of water in them.
It's so close to Nights into Dreams.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's such a fun game, and it's equally terrifying as well because there are like plenty of areas. Like this is like the first. It's not the first level as such, but it's kind of the first area of the game. I think it's like the second or third level. You're fighting a great white shark, but you can't fight him because great white sharks are much tougher than dolphins. So you have to kind of trap him, basically. But this terrified me when I first played this because it's weird. In this video, he's not really attacking you, but for me, he kept chasing me like all the time and kept grabbing me. And like he's a one-hit kill, basically. He will just grab you and bite you in the jaw. There seems to be like a weird bug in this video where he actually somehow traps him. Here we go. Yeah, it gets trapped.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
see ya.
There is basically you have a sonar to confuse sharks at this point in the game, and that helps you trick him or something. But for some reason, it bugs him into the hole there, which I didn't know about. And
it's very Looney Tunes all of a sudden.
I spent ages getting him to chase me and going through this hole to get trapped in the rock.
That makes sense.
Yeah. There is also
oh gosh,
like so many.
I just saw the shark eat Ecco. For those listening, jeez, oh man.
Oh, actually, I just cut that out. Actually, let's watch it. Let's just quickly watch that because
my bad.
That always terrified me.
Yeah, he whips around as he's like attacking him, but then suddenly the shark does a 180 and chomps you.
Yep, that was why it's so tough. It was crazy.
That seemed a little broken how quickly that shark could turn, but yeah. I would love. Oh, is there more of Defender Future?
We can move on, but I was going to try and find. I can't actually find it. It's fine.
What were you trying to find?
There's a couple of boss battles, which one of them is a giant eel. It's like a giant eel thing chasing you, and another one is a giant prehistoric crocodile.
Oh, I would love to sit down and play this with you, and by that I mean watch you play it, Graham, because I did not enjoy this game. I did not enjoy playing it. I streamed it and I could not figure out where to go. I was just as lost as I was in the Genesis days. And it was just aggravating. It wasn't fun. Like the game looked great. I had owned it for a little bit, and I was using my streams as an excuse to literally go through my Dreamcast library. And I think some people were watching me and trying to coach me along, but also had equally no experience with it. So I just didn't have fun. I think I ended up switching over games, but I'm still glad I own it because Ecco is, for some reason, always been a captivating series to me, and I guess now I know why, because the story is batshit insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. This level with the giant eel, which I have to get
All right.
to. I'll skip forwards. Okay, yeah, here we go. So you basically go into this underwater tunnel, and this giant eel basically starts chasing you. And I believe it throws lightning at you from memory. There you go. Yes, throwing
Of
lightning
course.
bolts at
Yep,
you.
of course he does.
Yeah, and it's like
That's how that
really
works underwater.
you have to go very quickly, avoiding falling rocks. Obviously, you can't just do it by halves. This terrified me as a kid. Like just trying to swim through this, like simply screaming my way through. Oh man, it's
Yeah,
nuts.
I think that's one of the games I only have the disc for, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, I would love to play this game with you or you watch me play it because, yeah, it's one of those games
I mean,
that
that's what I was gonna say. Is I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say no. It's a tough game. You're right. It's kind of a bit like the original games. It doesn't
Yeah, it's just
hold
as
your
obtuse.
hand. Yeah,
Mhm.
so you have to speak to people. You have to work out. Oh, this is a place I haven't been to. You might find an area that you can't get through yet, and then you have to come back to it. It's all about learning the different moves and different abilities. Because, like, for example, in this game, you can get fish, like shoals of fish, to like follow you, basically, and some fish will actually help you. Some of them will scare off certain enemies.
Oh,
Some
interesting.
of them light the way. So there's like a really dark tunnel, or a few bits actually, and certain fish will follow you, and they will light the way so you can actually get through the tunnels properly. So yeah, there's a lot to it, and there's other abilities you pick up as well along the way. And as I say, it's kind of like the original game. There's time travel involved, and the late levels get crazy. Like some of the stuff. It's actually
Yeah,
no.
we didn't. The late levels, before you get too far away, we didn't really mention that it turns into kind of a mechanized, like it almost looks like an offshoot. Like if someone took a Disney game from Genesis and tried to remake some Scrap Brain Zone or Marble Garden from the first Sonic, it's vibrant, but it's also mechanical, and you're like swimming around a machine, pretty much.
Yeah. So there's this bit which is
What
like,
is on him?
so yeah, this is like a harness that you have to basically get, which actually helps you work certain machines.
Okay.
So yeah, this is like an underground, almost like a mine type thing. Even though it's
Hmm.
underwater, I was about to say underground, it's underwater.
Mine shafts.
Yeah. So I remember there's like mine carts and stuff in this bit. And yeah, there's like levels with actually, yeah. So you go through like tunnels and things. And there's these other dolphins from this time which look really weird and like kind of brownish, like mottled. Like,
They just need a shower.
so yeah, this is probably one of the giant mechanical things that you're talking about that you see.
This is nuts.
Yeah.
It
And
makes sense to choose a dolphin because you are, it's like, did you ever play the game Forsaken?
yes, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like these later levels sort of remind me of that aesthetic where you're on these little flying carts, or like the game Descent, back on
Yeah.
PC. And so it's you're not flying, but you're swimming, but it's an excuse to have these 3D worlds where you can go everywhere.
Yeah. It's,
Echo, you made it. I knew you would. All right, that's a lot about Defender of the Future. Tell me
yeah.
this tidbit here you got, and we can keep moving.
What was my tidbit? I've got a tidbit.
Story was written by a sci-fi author.
Oh yeah, sorry. So yeah, this the story of Ecco the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, even though it's quite similar to the original game, it was actually written by an author called David Brin, who is a science fiction author, and actually written stories featuring intelligent dolphins in his Uplift Universe series of books. So yeah, there has been, I don't know how true this is. I actually have heard that when they were making Ecco the Dolphin's Defender of the Future, they made a lot of the levels before they even got a story involved. Which seems
I'm
nuts to
sure.
me, but that could
But
happen.
that probably happens more than we think.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah. I mean, that's a writer's job, is to fix the cohesion of something anyway,
Yeah, but it's kind of crazy because this game, it goes from like beautiful oceans to dark futures, and then it goes back to other beautiful oceans again, but weird, wonderful things like we're looking on the screen right now, and that's why I love the game, because it was so every level so different.
You know what that reminds me of? The level progression of Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Oh yeah,
There you go.
Yeah, it kind of is in a way, yeah.
Wham bam boom, blowing Graham's mind left and right.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
What is next? So,
That's
how,
theoretically the end of the commercially released Ecco games, right?
yes. I actually don't have any video footage for the next thing. Basically, there was meant to be another Ecco the Dolphin game on the Dreamcast, but it was cancelled. So it's called Ecco II: Sentinels of the Universe.
That is an intense title.
Oh yeah. So it was meant to be a direct sequel to Defender of the Future, like continuing the story, kind of like what Tides of Time did, but it was cancelled because the Dreamcast was at that point starting to fail, and they thought, they started the process. There is actually a downloadable beta version you can play, which has a few different areas and levels, but not really any mission structure or story or anything. But it looks beautiful. It looks as good as the Defender of the Future, and it's just, I personally think it's a massive shame they didn't continue development even on other systems. I know the Dreamcast was kind of dying out, but they did bring Defender of the Future to the PlayStation 2. They could have potentially shifted this to PlayStation 2 or GameCube or Xbox at the time, but they just didn't. Which
that's
is
kind of surprising because a lot of stuff did. Like I could see this getting thrown on GameCube.
Yeah.
I think that would be the well. Speaking of, one of them was on PS2.
Yeah, Defender.
Right.
Well, Defender of the Future was. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe it would have continued. Maybe that was the plan. Who knows? But you can on itch.io, or I'm sorry. Well, there's a place you can get the prototype has been dumped online. So for Sentinels of the Universe, I can't get over that. Sounds like an 80s cartoon that was like an offshoot of G.I. Joe or something.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Sentinels of the Universe.
Ecco and his friends have to kick the alien butt, going back in time and forward again. It's Sentinels of the Universe.
Yeah. So that's kind of like a brief history of Ecco the Dolphin, I guess, in a way. And Scotty, you have a little factoid as well, don't you? To share.
Well, yeah, I guess you have it up on the screen there. You found it. Can the viewers see this now? Or
they can now, yeah.
Yeah, a tweet by Mr. Annunziata, Obscure Echo Trivia number 17. I was paranoid about game rentals and kids beating the game over the weekend, so I made it hard. And he did. He's said that in interviews before as well. So he purposely made them difficult, and kids would have to rent it again and again. Or I guess in his mind, that would make them want to buy it instead of renting it over and over. I don't know.
Maybe that, yeah. I guess that makes sense actually, because I was thinking, why would you do that? But yeah,
right.
You make them want to buy the game. Like, it's kind of like why you release a demo of a game, because you wanted people to buy the game, the full game. But yeah, that's cool, because I guess maybe as
that wouldn't work on me as a kid. I'd be like, I'm not renting this again. Glad I didn't buy it. So and I guess, so are we getting into my little fact, my
yes, we now on
diversion here?
You please continue.
Yeah, so this is more I just wanted to touch on Annunziata's other games. He also did, Graham mentioned a couple on the Genesis Mega Drive. Another one on the 32X, if you know, you know, people. The Sega 32X he did was called Colibri, where you are a hummingbird, and it is just as obtuse as Ecco. No clue what you're doing. People have called it a hummingbird shoot 'em up, or a hummingbird shooter game, because you do have sort of powers that you get, and you're flying around as a hummingbird, sniffing flowers and eating flowers to get health and stuff. And there's crystals again, but you can get different kind of machine gun type projectiles and lasers and homing things. You got to watch out for bigger, I think, bigger bugs are your enemies, bigger birds, I think, even, because hummingbirds aren't exactly predators of the forest. But yeah, it's bugs and things like that, and we're looking at it now here. It's a beautiful game, very strange, and one of the pricier ones, unfortunately. That's kind of how it's known. Since I had price charting up, I was looking at Defender of the Future. That one's pretty affordable. You can find it complete anywhere from $25 to $30. Colibri, this is one of the more insane ones. So, well, isn't insane enough. Do you want to throw a guess out there how much it goes for either the PAL or the North American version, Graham?
Okay, I'm gonna say PAL version is probably gonna be like £300 or something. Maybe North American's gonna be 200.
Dang. Complete North American 250, complete PAL 328.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the pricier ones. And it's an interesting game. I'm glad I own it. It was a random buy that I got the cartridge. I don't have the case,
Oh,
unfortunately.
okay.
And I have tried to play it. I think I've streamed it forever ago, but it's a weird, fun looking. I have no idea what the story is, but moving on from that, we'll just keep firing them through here.
Yeah.
The one and only Mr. Bones
Mr.
on the Sega Saturn.
Bones.
Mr. Bones is a cool guy. It's a cool game, and it had potential, and it was innovative, but it is so difficult and kind of bad because it throws you into a level and it has a different control scheme almost every level. It's very music centric. Mr. Bones plays the guitar and also drums. You fall apart as a skeleton. You're just running around. Very cool FMV cutscenes that I have watched multiple times and don't really fully know the story still. But Rachel and I streamed it during the Saturn Day Marathon. We always do. I think we just like to say Mr. Bones, and we kind of dig skeletons overall. But you like fall apart as you go. You also have health, but you have body parts you have to get back, and you have a laser that stuns or kills enemies. I'm not even sure. I'm still not even sure what's going on in this game most of the time.
Yeah.
A fun fact about it, the level select code at the title screen is what's called a paradiddle for drumming. It's right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right for the shoulder buttons. That's a paradiddle. Right, left, right, left, right, left, left. And Mr. Bones is great and horrible at the same time. But it's another Annunziata joint.
Yeah, I would say
What a game.
I've never played this, but I saw you playing it on the stream the other day, and I genuinely, I couldn't work out what's going on. Like,
hey, that makes two of us.
So yeah, really weird. Oh my god, yeah. Okay.
It's a weird game. I'm glad I own it. It was one that I got in like a bundle of stuff that somebody was selling a bunch of Saturn games. The box art variations, the Japanese one is the coolest. It looks like a Grateful Dead cover.
Oh, okay.
Grateful Dead CD album cover or something. The one that I honestly forgot until we mentioned it. Another one that he made on Saturn. Oh, I'll let you. Are you bringing up the box art now?
Yeah, you continue though.
Okay. The other one on the Saturn that I forgot until we discussed it was Three Dirty Dwarves. That one that might be my favorite Ed Nunziata game because it's the most not adaptable. What is it? Just jump in and go, like pick up and play. Yeah, I love that box art. That's very cool.
Yeah, that is
compared to the PAL one is weird, and the American one is just him standing there with a guitar.
What is going on with the PAL one? It's just like a head.
I think it's when he's very tiny and he's like falling apart.
Is his head on his hand there? If you see it, so his body. He has no body. So his head is floating on his hand, basically, or balancing.
So
his hand.
Strange.
And then the American one, he's just holding a guitar. It's I guess
pretty straightforward. And does it say? What does it say there?
Check out the monstrous Mr. Bones video game available only on the Sega Saturn.
Well, we're holding it. Why would you say to check out the game you're holding?
But the Japanese one, it looks really cool. So for people listening, it's kind of like a bright red and orange box, I guess, with really cool Mr. Bones title. Mr. Bones is in the background with a guitar, and they've kind of got butterflies kind of going around him in a circle. It looks really funky.
Roses, and there's like a Native American headdress almost at the top of it.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
it's all over the place.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love it.
Kind of a fire gradient happening. Three Dirty Dwarves is probably my favorite of the Nunziata joints that I've played because it's it's a brawler going from left to right, beating guys up. And it has like an 11-minute cutscene intro, and I won't spoil things, but it involves Dungeons and Dragons and kids in a think tank, like super intelligent kids playing D&D basically.
Whoa, that's got audio on it. Sorry, apologies.
Whoopsie. But it's a 3-player game though. It's up to 3 players, so it is one of the things that uses the Saturn multi-tap or whatever it is actually called.
Yeah.
And I've done it 3 players before, but that's actually harder in my opinion because it's not a one-hit kill, but when one of your 3 dwarves gets hit, they're knocked unconscious, and you have to go pick them up. You have to res them. So you're
Okay.
knocked down. I don't know if that'll happen in this video here. So, but if you're playing 3-player, everybody's doing their own thing. If you're all too busy fighting bad guys, you might get all knocked down at the same time. Yeah, see, he got knocked down there, so he has to go back and you sock him once.
Do you all have
and he stands up
different
again.
weapons? Like, it looks like one's got a shotgun, one's got like a club,
so
one's got.
I'll spoil the story sort of, but these super intelligent kids are playing D&D and somehow summon dwarves into their world from a medieval dimension or whatever, and the dwarves get thrown they land on planet Earth in a sporting goods store. And so they just grab what's around them. One of them has bowling balls like in a sack over his head, and he's hitting people with a bowling pin over his shoulder. And
cool.
Another guy just has a shotgun. And then kind of the leader of the batch has baseball themed stuff. So he has a bat and just a sack of balls behind him. But you can, like, one of the moves, you hold down a button for the baseball based dwarf, and he'll like throw 3 balls up in the air, and you have to bat them. You have to time it to like hit the balls across the screen at your enemies and stuff.
Oh, whoa! So
it's a fun game once you get the hang of it. And yeah, they have like kind of pseudo 3D 1.5D boss fights and stuff.
Yeah, so on the screen, the boss was like in the middle of the screen, but as you walked, you kind of rotated around him. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think on the Sega Screams Volume 1 demo disc, there's a demo of just the first boss in the game, which is you're literally fighting a gym, a gym that people can have a membership at and like go to the gym to work out. It's a literal building that is a gym, and they're like throwing dumbbells at you and stuff, and you have to you're punching the crap out of the building, and then it gets up on a bunch of feet and it's walking around, and you have to still kick the crap out of it and stuff. It's a weird. It looks like it would fit into the universe of Scud the Disposable Assassin or something, So I highly recommend this one, but it is challenging like all of his games. But I would say this is the most what is the word I'm looking for? Not adaptable, but like
accessible.
Yeah, accessible. Thank you. That's why you're here. Of his games, I'd say it's the most accessible. Mr. Bones is the opposite of that. Calibri's beautiful and weird. Ecco is beautiful and weird. So, have you not played 3 Dirty Dwarves?
No, I only found out about it quite relatively recently.
I wonder if that got released. If that got a PAL version. Holy crap, it did. I'm sorry, guys. I'm on price charting again. So why is that much? I mean, Saturn games, the retro bubble is never going away. 3 Dirty Dwarves, Japan, or I'll start at the bottom here. North America, complete $134. Japan, $158. Complete PAL, $316.
Ooh.
So I mean, I don't know. Whenever we hang out in some way, shape, or form, Graham, I'll bring my copy of 3 Dirty Dwarves, and you can throw it on your Polymega.
Yeah. I'll definitely try and do that.
Yeah. And quick update from my wife. She won a free game with Plinko.
Hey,
anyway, sorry, I got that alert on my computer. It's a game of Lucky Hit.
Oh, okay, cool.
In Shenmue, you drop the ball from the top.
And as soon as you said that, I knew exactly what you meant. Yeah.
Well, thank God for Shenmue too. They're playing mini golf, her and her friend, and at the end, you drop your ball at the top of a Plinko game, and you win a free game.
Okay, that's
if you get it in a certain spot. So there you go, everybody. Update from the field. What do we got here? That's 3 Dirty Dwarves and everything else that I know about it. Oh, sorry. What I was saying overall is like his games are just the pitch perfect example of companies back then allowing devs to throw anything at the wall and it actually gets produced.
Yeah.
That does not happen today in games, except in the indie scene. Man, support the indie scene. That happens in the indie scene, does not happen in movies, except again, the indie scene in movies. So that I feel like his games are amazing representations of just the insanity that devs could get away with in the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, it definitely was a different time back then, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, so I guess this all comes back to what are we talking about? Why are we doing this here? Sorry, before I do that, do you have any final thoughts on the previous Ecco entries that we talked about?
I think I still could never play an Ecco game, but I would love to watch someone
Hmm.
who enjoys it and see the story unfold, because that is just so bizarre to me. I would
Yeah.
I would love to see a movie that is that game's story.
Yeah. I mean, um, so yeah, as we sort of said, I guess at the top of this section, this all came. Reason why we talk about this is it came from the announcement that Ed made. Well, just answering a question really. We're working on
Mhm.
remasters and we're looking at bringing the games. And I don't know if you know about this, Scotty, but he
Oh God.
actually back in January he actually shared this little GIF
On my birthday,
on Twitter. Is it your birthday? Hey, happy birthday!
January 14th.
There we go. Just for you, he shared this GIF, which is kind of like a 2.5D modernized version of Ecco the Dolphin by the looks of it. But nothing
Huh.
was literally nothing else. It's literally just this GIF he put out.
Just a GIF,
And
not even a full video.
yeah. And basically people are going, what's going on? Sort of stuff.
Mhm.
Shut up, you know, the memes like shut up and take my money. But yeah, so potentially this is what the game could look like, maybe, if that's because he's talked about working on the new game. What's if this is it, like, or like, what would you expect from a new game, basically? Like, what would be your vision of a new Ecco the Dolphin game?
I don't think they would go fully 3D. I think it would be a side-scrolling game like this,
Okay.
because I don't know that. Well, he wanted to do a game called Big Blue, and he tried a Kickstarter for it
Yeah.
at least once. And I think that was him saying it's going to be a full 3D Ecco, but not Ecco or something.
Yeah.
But I think they would go 2D first,
Yeah. I guess.
at least now, because that's where
Yeah.
game trends are now.
Because the other thing to point out is Sega, I think it was at the start of this year, also re-trademarked the IP for Ecco the Dolphin. So it looks like
they did that for a lot of stuff, because
they've done
like,
it. Yeah, they have done it for a lot of their games because it's kind of something they do quite a lot. But because of
you
that,
just have to legally do that also.
you have to legally do it to keep the IP fresh. But because of that, it will be a Sega either published or developed game, effectively. I know technically Sega does hold the rights to it, but you know sometimes Sega does let the original creators make like with Shenmue, for example. Sega let Yu Suzuki make the game, and Sony was actually the publisher. Sega just had the license basically for it. But yeah, potentially. So yeah, so because of that, and because of what we said actually about how gaming has changed, you pointed out that you wouldn't really get games like Ecco the Dolphin. I also agree. I reckon it would be a 2.5D game because it's kind of more of a risk to make a 3D game. It's a lot more expensive. So it kind of does make sense that that's what they'll be doing here.
There was all that talk because Sega delisted a bunch of games, and there was all that talk involving surveys also that went out by Sega. They sent a lot of surveys and emails, not a lot, but they send them now and again, basically asking, and the gist of the surveys and the fact that they delisted things, the conspiracy started, the theory started that people said Sega is starting a streaming service, and I'm all for it. If you put everything on there that you have, just do it. Stop giving me Sonic on every 3 months on something. All right. Stop giving me the first Sonic that I don't care about every 3 months on something else. Yeah, if they threw all that stuff on a streaming service, I'd get it. You gotta buy your Sega box. I don't know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But throw Ecco on there. Maybe that's why they renewed it. We figured it out.
What a twist! You heard it here first.
Yeah.
But that's you made a great point there because I hope they are making a streaming service, even though it's another streaming service to subscribe to. But at this point, I
on
think
live too.
That's what I want. Exactly what I want. But
don't even explain that. Don't even explain on live too.
No,
people, that could be a whole episode. Just duck go that thing on live. ONLIVE.
Yeah. But that's what I wanted Sega Forever to be when they first announced Sega Forever years ago. They were like, "Yeah, we're going to have every single game from all our different eras and platforms. You know, they're coming." And they released the same 20 games that was on Steam and You know, on
Yeah,
the Xbox
yeah.
compilations and stuff, which are great games, but I don't need to, as you say, I've now got them on 20 consoles.
Wasn't there like a exclusive on there of a Choo Choo Rocket game or something, or am I crazy?
I know they released
Or no,
Choo Choo Rocket
uh,
on the Apple arcade thing or whatever.
uh,
Uh,
oh crap. Well, there was they did have
there,
Choo Choo Rocket on iOS at one point, and it was arguably better than the original because you would
what a
poke the
twist.
screen and swipe in the direction
Okay,
you
that would
want
be a
an
lot easier
arrow.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they had virtual tennis on there, but it
Choo
was
Choo Rocket Universe was on Apple. There you go.
okay, yeah, okay. But they had virtual a version of virtual tennis on Sega Forever on iOS and Android, and it was not virtual tennis. It was a terrible game. It was virtual tennis in that it looked like virtual tennis, and it was a tennis game, but it was not virtual tennis. The original virtual tennis games like on the Dreamcast and stuff. It was not a very good game. Yeah.
Jesus. Just scared myself with a video starting. I didn't know the sound would be on. Yeah, Choo Choo Rocket Universe. I never got to play this, but you're on like an orb. It looks
Okay.
awesome. But it was released in 2019, delisted 2022.
Of course it was. I mean, who does anyone actually play Apple Arcade?
I played Sonic. What was the Sonic game they put out on there?
No idea.
You'd be surprised, Graham, but I'm with you. Put it on other stuff, people.
Yeah, I'm happy for them to put it on Apple Arcade, but also maybe put it on some platforms that people actually play on a bit more. Because I mean, yeah, until Apple Arcade becomes, I mean, is Apple Arcade still going? I don't even know.
Dream Team, Sonic Dream Team. Oh yeah, it's going strong, buddy.
Oh, is it? Okay,
It's going strong, Mr. Windows fan. It is.
Yeah, good to know.
Sonic Dream Team is actually really good. It's kind of what I wanted from Sonic Frontiers instead of Sonic Frontiers.
Okay, that makes sense. I can understand that.
There's the controversial opinion of the episode.
But yeah, so effectively your thing would be a 2.5D or 2D with slightly crazy.
Oh, if he remastered, or if he would it, or if he
with the new game. So that's kind of what your speculation is.
Yeah, he'd do 2D. I thought he was. What did that interview say?
The interview said, I've now just forgotten where it is. On a second, let's bring it up. Let's bring it back up on the screen.
There he is.
There he is. There's our guy, Ed.
Spotlighting Big Eddie.
Yeah, he says they're remastering the original Ecco and Tides of Time, and they will make a new third game with contemporary play and GPU sensibilities. So
what the hell's GPU sensibilities mean?
Graphics processing unit sensibilities? I don't know. Like
it'll look better. Just say it'll look better.
Before you're gonna get the AI involved somehow. Everything's got AI these days. But yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think it will be a 2D game. I would really like a 3D game, to be honest. As Ecco the Dolphin Defender in the Future is my favorite Ecco game. I feel like in a way it would be a step back, even though Ed wasn't involved in that game. I just love.
Well,
yeah, I'd love to see
in Tides of Time. They did have parts where it was behind Ecco, and you're going forward.
Yes.
Kind of in the vein of the Sonic half pipe bonus levels in Sonic 2.
Yeah.
It just switches camera angles, and you're behind him, and he's swimming through like loops, and at some points avoiding sharks and jellyfish and stuff. I think very beginning of the video. You found it. Yeah. So but I bring that up because you want something 3D. I could see them doing portions of the game going from 2.5D, 2.5D to maybe something like this, but make it more 3D than static like this is, sort of.
Yeah, because this is trying to do like Mode 7 style stuff, even though the Mega Drive couldn't do Mode 7. But it looks pretty cool for what it is, especially for the era as well.
That's blast processing, baby.
Yeah. Gotta love it. Okay, and for the remasters, what would you expect, or what would you like to see from the remasters, basically?
There will be hint bubbles everywhere. So, or some sort of like Navi or assistant goldfish, clownfish, or something floating around with you, saying, "I think you could maybe find the way to get around this rock by talking to somebody over here." You know,
Yeah.
something like that. I'm sure people would hate. Well, I don't know. All the Souls games, Dark Souls, Demon Souls. People
Yeah.
love those. So
This
maybe
was
they want
the
something that does not explain a dang thing to you.
this was the original Dark Souls game, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are Echo likes out there, guys, not Souls like games. Shove
Yeah.
it up your
Damn right.
rogue-like butt. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously I'd like them to preserve the original game as, complete and as it is, but I'd love there to be other modes, like different settings that you could change, have an easier setting where they might give you more guidance, like, because you can actually get maps of the levels if you, there's a sonar, I don't know if you know about this, there's a sonar trick that
Oh.
if you do
Oh, that's
you do
right.
the echo thing and then you spin around, the echo comes back to you and it shows you the map of the world,
I remember
or
that. Yeah.
not the world, the level. Maybe if
Mhm.
there was like more indicators to say go here, basically.
Yeah.
So not necessarily guiding you directly, because some of the levels are quite maze-like, but you can hopefully navigate a little bit easier that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be cool. I think you could, if there's like an easier mode or whatever, just call it Junior mode as
Mm.
an homage to the Ecco Jr.
That would be, that's a really great idea, actually, because they're not, it sounds like they're not remastering Ecco Jr., because it sounds like no one wants to.
I legitimately want to play Ecco Jr. because it feels like I could maybe finish that game.
But yeah, and maybe some tweaks to the controls, because the controls
hmm
they do feel a bit dated now. It's quite
Mm.
tricky. Uh,
He
yeah,
was doing more than a 3-button controller would allow him, I feel like.
yeah. But they managed to put it off. Great stuff. And I just remember there's certain bits in the original game, like you have to. There's so many parts of the game you have to push blocks with your nose,
Right.
and like there's a few bits where like there'll be jet streams of water pushing you back up, or you have to push a block off a ledge
Yeah.
to then go down, and then you have to push the block into like a wall or something to break the wall. And I remember just getting so frustrated with that bit.
Oh, yeah. It went in like a cycle,
Oh
sort
my
of, right?
god, it was so
You had to like
frustrating.
there were some parts you had to like wait for a block to show up again or something like
Yeah,
that.
and
Yeah.
the amount of times I'd messed that up, like I'd push the block at the wrong time into the wall, and it'd push me back up in the air, and or I'd push the block and you just miss the wall, and then you can't get it again. Oh yeah. um, so yeah, if stuff like that was easier, that would
I
be
mean,
cool.
yeah, start with a remaster and do the button of new, like the new graphic button,
Oh
switch
yeah,
between the visuals maybe, or just,
I'd love to. Yeah,
I don't know.
that's the thing. Would you like a whole full remaster, like rebuilding the game from the ground up just with modern graphics and stuff, or would you want it to be like a visual skin over the top, like which they've done with quite a lot of old
Um,
games?
the game looks so 90s that I feel like if it came out like right now, they shouldn't change a whole lot other than make it look better
Mm,
because of just how we are. I mean, we're kind of, the world's kind of repeating now early mid 2000s stuff rather than 90s anymore, but I think I don't know that I'd want. Mm, I don't know. That's a hard question to answer because, like, look at the Resident Evil remakes; those are phenomenal. But
yeah,
you have a AAA team behind them and everything. It's a Capcom team, but
yeah.
and not saying that it's bad, but look at the House of the Dead remake. That didn't make any waves.
Oh,
You know,
not saying it's bad. It was a bad game. I'm sorry. Like House of the Dead is
I
my
wasn't
favorite light gun game, and they
same, right?
butchered it. They butchered that.
It
I'm
just
sorry.
wasn't. It just didn't capture the feel of it. So, and it's also I also think about how at the same E3, Shenmue 3 was announced and Final Fantasy 7 Remake was announced.
Mm.
Now look at those two games, how good each of those are doing. So FF7 is nuts, and that's a full remake.
Yeah.
And that's slight spoilers for FF7 Remake, but that's apparently another universe, and at some point, like Sephiroth learns of another universe that they're in, and so it's not even a remake if you want to argue that and all that crap.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
there you go. All right, FF7 spoilers are over. but
I
so,
Yeah. I've never played it.
but that game is
So
phenomenal looking
it looks
and
amazing.
playing
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
So,
I've never
so
played it,
it's
but it looks amazing. Yeah.
yeah. So, but like Shenmue 3. that I feel like was a downgrade just overall.
Oh yeah.
But they also didn't have a giant studio behind it. They had, and again, not a bad game, but it was just not. I even told, like, jokingly back in the Sega Addicts days, I said to everybody, I'm like, Shenmue 3 is not going to satisfy anyone that wants it as bad as they do now. There's no possible way,
Hmm.
but that's neither here nor there. I say all of that though to bring it back to they would either have to make it look phenomenal and just remake the game visually, but make it easier, I think.
Hmm.
But I don't, because I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that they should reboot it so much as just what does he say? A remaster,
Remaster them.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, remaster them, bring it back into the I almost said bring it back into the algorithm. Not that. Bring it back into the ether of the gamers so that they remember what Echo was and then
Hmm.
try something new.
Yeah.
Because
That'd be
that's, I
cool.
mean, that's what
Yeah.
they've done anyway. What do they do with everything they use? It was interesting how Resident Evil 7 was first person view, Resident Evil 8 was first person view, but then they released DLC for Resident Evil 8 in third person, and then they popped out Resident Evil 4 remake because they were
Hmm.
like, all right, people are ready for this and stuff again,
Okay.
or more. I don't know. It was a weird, like, they did something for the fans that wanted the third person again.
Yeah.
Um, so, or also the biggest difference in the remakes of 2 and 3 Resident Evil, it's not fixed camera angles, which I was always a fan of. I do love the tank controls because I'm
Yeah.
a psychopath. But that's modernizing it. That's a remake. I
Yeah.
don't know how you do that with Echo and
Hmm.
not make it just 2D again. I could this could have been the whole discussion, honestly. I could keep going.
Oh, maybe we should have. Let's cut out most of the stuff I said at the start. So let's go. We can keep going with it if you'd like to.
No, no, no. It's just I mean that's the, that's the unanswerable question. How do you make a remake that everyone enjoys and you bring it
Yeah.
back into the ether? Capcom did it. Square Enix
Hmm.
did it. Um, I can't think of any masterful remakes recently, but yeah.
Yeah. I can't really think of. I mean, yeah, no, it wasn't really a remake actually. No, I was just thinking of the remaster of the original Ecco, which there was just a skin. There was
That was
just
where you had the button, just
yeah,
switch between the
yeah,
graphics.
and the Monkey Island games as well. They remade those or remastered them even. Sorry,
Oh, right,
and
right, right.
the modern visuals and the voice acting was amazing. And yeah, then you switch it back to the old one. It's like, oh, this looks like that was done so well. But again, that was more of a remaster, not a remake. So
Hmm.
yeah. But yeah, I'm not sure what to expect. Really, I mean,
I hope it happens.
yeah,
He's wanted to make more Echo forever.
yeah, yeah. I'm excited for a new game. As I said, I'd like it to be 3D. I doubt it would be 3D. I have no hopes for it being 3D. From based on what we've seen, kind of what we know, it sounds like it's going to be still a small team.
Yeah.
Um,
I think it's good to temper your expectations like
yeah,
that, even though that was your favorite and everything.
yeah. I mean, it's a big Echo the Dolphin Defender Future is a big long game, so maybe one day we'll sit down and play it together. Sounds great.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd like to watch it played by someone who enjoys it and understands it.
Cool. And with that, Scotty, shall we wrap up this little
I
water
think
cooler
so.
moment? Excellent. We can quickly go into what we've been playing. Do you want to kick it off?
Sure. So I have my words. No, just reading the outline here. No, I have been playing Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, and I was so mad that I forgot that last episode. Instead, I talked about Beyond Good and Evil and everything that wasn't Sega. But if you like Jet Set Radio, one or future, play Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Just just freaking do it.
Yeah.
Was it Naganuma? Was that who did the soundtrack for Radio?
Yes,
Can't
I
remember.
think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did a couple tracks for this game, which the soundtrack is great. I keep hovering over the purchase button for the vinyl. But yeah, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is quite literally Jet Set Radio's spiritual successor. But with skateboards, rollerblades, bikes,
Oh, I
and
didn't have bikes.
uh,
Okay.
yeah, it's a crazy story as well. I've been very slowly playing through it, but I really dig it. And the characters are fun. The levels are fun. It's such nicer set of controls than like Jet Set Radio had, and I feel like Future kind of got a little stale in the environment, but the controls were easier.
Mm.
And I'm a big fan of Jet Set. I played that Hover game that came out
Oh,
a
yeah.
while back, and it touted how it had or touted how it had like online play and stuff. It was okay. It was more cyber and futuristic than cell shaded cool punks, you know.
Cool.
No, yeah, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk is very good. And I'll mention briefly that I got the Capcom Fighting Collection 2 because it is basically a Dreamcast collection. It has Power Stone 1 and 2 on there.
Oh, okay.
That's the reason I bought it. Please buy that game to support Power Stone. More Power Stone games coming out. It's got Project Justice on there.
Oh, okay.
And overall, it's a really good collection because they actually remixed a bunch of soundtracks in it too. Like they have 25 versions of most of the game soundtracks. And I played it briefly and remembered why I play those games with friends who have barely played them because I was getting my butt handed to me. I forgot that the right way to play Power Stone is just grab every item, throw it at your opponent, grab the Power Stones, and win the game. You don't actually fight. You just throw crap, get the things, become a god, and destroy everyone.
And that's.
Do you? Mm-hmm.
I think I've said this before. That's the thing I don't like about Power Stone games are the Power Stones themselves, because I like the actual fighting and the picking up. The whole environment interaction, the picking up items, throwing them. That blows my. I thought that was so much fun. And then the Power Stone bit, like very entertaining. But then it's like every time someone gets a Power Stone, they basically win immediately. It's like in the Power Rangers. As soon as they turn into the big giant robot, they win. It's like, come on, guys.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's still. I'm still really glad I have it. I got it on PS4 physically, which can I do a quick tangent on that?
Go for it.
So it was incredibly difficult to get the PS4 physical version. You could, and so I say that for any collectors, just listen to this quick story. You could not pre-order it on Amazon. That was my, first of all, my priorities have shifted so much from gaming lately that I forgot this game was even coming out until the week of. So I hopped on Amazon thinking I'll get it for Friday. I'll have like minuscule windows to play this game online. And launch weekend is when you want to play a game online, especially because it's only releasing on PS4, physical digital, Switch, physical digital, PC, digital.
Oh.
And so I'm like, why no PS5? That's weird.
Or
and Xbox.
Yeah.
Xbox digital only.
Okay.
Yeah. So one and I forget. What's the latest Xbox called?
Series X or S.
Okay. I don't know that it's on that. Anyway, couldn't pre-order on Amazon. All right, whatever. I'm thinking to myself, I'll pick it up Friday. I'll get it launch day. I'll just zip up to the Best Buy. Best Buy, nothing in stock. They've got the Switch version. I tried to call Best Buy, called 3 times to get through a phone tree and finally talk to a person. It sounds like they outsourced their calls. They couldn't find it in the store and they could get it shipped. I'm like, no, thank you. That was after I called GameStop. They got 1 copy in and I was like, oh, but it's opened, isn't it? And like, yeah, floor model. Sorry. I'm like, don't worry about it. Hang up, call somebody else. Best Buy, nothing. Target doesn't even have it on the site to get shipped to you. The Target website, never mind the location. They've got it on Switch though. PS4 physical? Nope. You can go F yourself. And so I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And I call back the GameStop. I'm like, you still got that 1 copy in? They're like, yeah. I'm like, can you hold it for me? Because you're it. They're like, sure. So I run up there, grab the PS4 physical copy of Capcom Fighting Collection 2. And I said to them, I was like, if you've got any collectors in your staff or like regulars, tell them to grab this game because I don't think Capcom made a lot of it because it was very difficult for me to find on launch day a physical PS4 copy of this game. And I don't even know why they didn't do PS5. Why'd they even put this PS4 physical out? So I've got it.
Wow, that is actually really weird though. Yeah.
And like the harder it was to track it down, the more I was like, I have to get this game to play this weekend because there's not going to be an online community for PS4 for this game in like 2 weeks.
Wow.
So, and then I got bodied online, but that's my small rant. I had to get it out because it was Such a Scotty problem. I need my physical PS4 game in 2025. Yeah, but it's still weird they didn't do a PS5.
Yeah, like why are they not releasing on modern systems? Are they?
Yeah. Came with a little comic book too, so that's neat.
Wow. That's really weird. That's a really weird decision by them.
Yep.
They want people to.
I'm almost tempted to like buy it again sealed because I'm crazy and like afraid. And if I'm strapped for cash, maybe I'll sell that version.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, Capcom Fighting Collection 2. There you go, guys.
Okay, awesome. So what I've been playing and my pickup has been something we spoke about last week. So if you remember, last week we...
Oh my God, you already got it?
Oh yeah. So I haven't got the physical version because the physical version is kind of pre-order. Yeah, the physical version is pre-order right now, but I did go to his so this is Bad Computers website, itch.io site, sorry. And I bought the ROM version, which I'm playing on Fusion, the Fusion emulator.
Oh, ROM. Okay.
What did you think I said?
I thought you said you got the wrong version. I'm like, I don't know how that works. But...
Sorry, ROM, read-only memory version, the downloadable software version.
Thank you.
Yes, and this is actually footage of my gameplay, or some of my gameplay. And I'm not going to go to the whole thing, basically, but I will say
we talked about it last week.
This is a tough game, I tell you that.
Oh, really?
Much. Yeah, so it's really cool. I've played it. So I have managed to get to level 2 so far, and I have tried to play this multiple times now. So this is one of my early video footage I took, actually, but it took me ages to get to the mid-level boss, for one thing.
What's the FF floating by there? Oh,
that's it's like a power, like some power-ups and stuff. You do have multiple weapons which you get from the beginning, which is pretty cool. One weapon is unlimited ammo. You get like a fire weapon, which is next to useless because it only shoots really close to you. But I found on the second level there are some enemies which is really good against. You get missiles, which are slightly tougher than your normal weapon, but not very good. And then you get like a really powerful laser, which is cool. And then you get the laser beam thing, which is like a special weapon, which is really good. And then you also get a bomb, which I seem to always accidentally fire the bomb. I never actually do it on purpose for some reason. So on the screen right now, those orbs are the most annoying thing in the world, because they come down. They would, after a certain period of time, they'll explode like most enemies. And when they explode, they'll release their 3 balls of fire basically at you, which is fine. That makes sense. But even if you shoot them and destroy them, they still release the 3 balls of fire. And at this point in the level, this is still level 1, by the way, there's like tons of these balls just keep coming down. And it's just like right now, there's like 6 balls on the screen and it's everywhere. You only get 3 lives. You can't get extra lives. You do have 3 continues though, which is pretty good. But as soon as you hit continue, I had to change the controls on this bit because I had the control set wrong or something, to change the weapons. But yeah, when you die and you use a continue, you go back to the start of the level. There's no checkpoints in the level at all. And when you get to if you die on the boss, it's just so infuriating because you have to go through the whole level, kill a mid boss, get to the boss bit, and inevitably you've got no lives at the boss anyway. Actually, I'll skip through.
Did the bosses look cool?
The bosses are pretty cool. So this is the first level boss.
Whoa, look at him.
So yeah, it's like just a big ship. The whole screen goes black. And died immediately. And and so I started playing this game originally not using any state saves and stuff, and eventually I thought, screw this. I'm using state saves. Actually, I should show. So I don't know if you see right now, there was a flickering whirlwind.
A tornado or something?
So that, actually, maybe I'll skip back a tiny bit just to show you that properly, because there's a whole bit of the level where this tornado is bouncing around the screen. It's kind of random the way it goes. There's also, I probably hold on. Wait.
Does it disappear and still attack you?
It disappears after a while.
Oh my gosh.
But
screw that.
I think I did a save state here. That's why it's paused.
Forget that.
But yeah, but there's aliens coming down still as well.
No, thank you.
Skip forward. Come on, why is it?
Video games suck.
So the aliens are coming down, so attacking you. And I basically found the best way to beat this is to stand in the corner and hope not to get hit by the aliens, basically.
Hell yeah.
there was
I've seen that so many times in speed runs. They find like a little nook or cranny, and they're like, "Yeah, you don't need to do anything here."
Yeah. So let's get to the. I'll try to force forward to the boss bit. There we go, fighting the boss. Oh, that's where I die straight
That
away.
looks cool.
I think I do beat the boss eventually. But yeah, the boss is pretty cool.
That's cool. Well, I'm glad you picked that up.
Yeah. Actually, let's go. Oh no, that's still.
That's what's going to happen. This podcast is just going to make us buy stuff.
So yeah, I eventually beat stage 1. There's a little bonus stage, which I was like, oh, cool.
Cyberspace training.
Yeah.
Strap in.
And it's
Whoa.
It's got
That's
you
cool.
got
It looks like the screen between Kid Chameleon levels.
Oh yeah, it does actually. Yeah, kind of like a futuristic Tron kind of level.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just got a timer on this one. You got to try and get as many points as you
Okay.
can.
That's neat.
And I think I died pretty quickly, to be honest, on this one. Oh yeah, you can also do a side dash. So if you double tap to the side, you do a quick jump to the side.
Mhm.
And I kept accidentally doing it and going straight into enemy weapons, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
And then yeah, the second level is a B. It's a massive bitch, basically. I don't think I've played much of this really.
That looked like something straight out of oh, I can't remember that driving game now. Darn it.
Outrun?
No, Horizon Chase
Oh,
Turbo.
okay, yeah.
Same aesthetic.
But yeah, so that's kind of so
Cool.
yeah. I think I've
Support
got
indie people. Support
Yeah.
indie.
I think I got to like the middle boss in level 2, and that's as far as I've got. Basically, it's such a tough game.
Mhm.
I just wish there was like I don't know if you could earn extra.
Is it
lives
two
or-
player at all, or is it only one player?
It's only one player. As far as I
Okay,
can
that'd
tell,
probably be too crazy. 2 player, maybe too
I mean,
chaotic to.
be really handy if they could have 2 players or something. But
I have a feeling it'd be like Xenocrisis, just a different game,
yeah,
a different challenge, or a different
Yeah.
or easier. I don't know.
but it'd be good if they actually released. I don't know, like did a patch of this downloadable version because it actually does say like version 1 point whatever on it. But if there was like checkpoints or something, like maybe even in a super easy mode or like a way to unlock new lives or something like that, because it's a very tough game. But maybe I'll get better. Maybe I'll
looks
just
like
become really good.
Now, is the cartridge not done, or is it just on its way to you?
No, it's on. It's in pre-order state, so you can pre-order it from a website, but you can't actually. You won't get it until later this year. I think it's September or October or something. They said it's due to ship. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's me. So let's wrap up the show. We've been going on a long time.
Yeah.
Any shout outs or plugs you want to do?
I mean, just check out the Saturn Day Marathon again if you can. If you missed it, you can still donate. We'll be doing other stuff throughout the year. We're gonna try to do another marathon, maybe 2 more. It's a different life than where we were 2 years ago doing marathons as often as I was. So still trying to do. They are still fun. But check that out. And then for myself, I guess real quick, I do have a blog that I try to update periodically. I'm a little bit behind on that. But most recently, shoot, I had it up for myself because I couldn't remember what the last thing was I wrote. Sorry, maybe edit this part out. Or do you want the blog? Do you need to share it at all, or screens, or anything like that?
You can share it. Yeah.
Oops,
Send it to me.
God, son of a biscuit. Yeah, I'll send it over to you. This might show up on my audio. Sorry.
Oh
Yep.
wow.
Boom. I got to turn off those alerts.
Cool.
No, don't do that. Anyway, I have a blog and I write stuff, and sometimes it's just whatever I'm feeling. Sometimes it's video game related. I mentioned before I talked about starting to play games with strategy guides again. Wrote about the retro toy scene. All kinds of things. I have actually my first review on there is for the novelized version of the horrible video game Plumbers Don't Wear Ties. So you can enjoy all that and more.
Excellent.
And it's an archive of all of my Sega Addicts things that I've done.
Fantastic. So
That's what it kind of started with. So
nice. So yeah, if you want to read more about Sega Addict stuff, check that out, and then check out
everything
Scotty's
I
more
did
modern
for
stuff.
Sega Addicts is on there. Features and reviews that I could grab, interviews even from like packs and stuff, and then just other random things that I feel like writing. So like for some reason I wrote a story about being 40 on my 40th birthday. Surprise! I figured out how old I am by me saying it. And then my YouTube page is not as active as it once was, but I do still put things on there every now and again. I do parody unboxings. I used to, but it's a lot of vlogs and just kind of collecting my thoughts and I can't reflections of things.
Okay.
My brain. We've been talking for like 3 hours, so. But yeah, if you want to hit up my YouTube, I'm on YouTube. I think you can do youtube.com/@ScottyMo.
Cool.
I'm on there doing stuff. For some reason, my Sonic 4 parody unboxing, like a fake unboxing, has been blowing up. It has not hundreds, but thousands of views now. I don't know why. I don't know what happened. The algorithm just 14 years later, long after trying to make any type of career out of YouTube, it decided to throw everyone my Sonic 4 video. I don't think you're going to find it on that link tree, though, Graham.
Fair
sorry.
enough. Never mind.
It's a different one.
Cool. Awesome.
And that's really what I do online.
Cool. Nice. I don't really have any plugs for myself, but I kind of want to give when I don't have that, I'm going to give out a shout out to a Sega community channel or website or person that I think would be good to share with people. And I think people should check out, there's a channel on YouTube. It's been going for like over 10 years. It's called Console Wars. And it's basically, it's a fun way of looking at two versions of the same game, but one on the Super Nintendo and one on the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive. And there's a couple of guys who do it. The team has changed slightly over the years because one of the original hosts, unfortunately, was ill at one point, so he had to sort of step back. But it's really good. They kind of do these little sketches almost, which at the start I didn't enjoy the humor of that so much, but the actual video, if you don't like those sort of fun sketch bits, skip forward a bit, because the actual video content and the discussions they have are brilliant. I love them, and they do it in a very fun way, and they compare the games in a really great way. And over time, I actually got to actually really enjoy the skits. So, I mean, I've just loved the channel overall now. But basically, yeah, it's quite surprising as well, because on paper, the Super Nintendo is a more powerful system than the Genesis. But in reality, there are so many times you actually be surprised how many times like the Genesis comes ahead, like in like things like audio.
Yeah, you were telling me some factoids with the size of the screen and stuff.
Yeah,
or
surprisingly,
I forget.
Yeah, it actually took them quite a few videos to realize this, but they started to notice, and they pointed out every time now, quite a lot of times, like Super Nintendo games, when you actually look at the graphics on that versus the Mega Drive version, the Super Nintendo version the sprites often look bigger, and you like think, oh, this looks like a bigger, better game. But what they've actually done is they've zoomed in on the screen, so the actual resolution is different. And on the Mega Drive version, you actually got more on screen, which especially it really helps for platformers, for example. So like they actually show you like clips of doing the same jump on the Super Nintendo version versus like the Mega Drive version. And yeah, like on the Mega Drive version, you can see the platform you need to jump to, and on the Super Nintendo, it's like a leap of faith. I'm just going to jump off the side of the screen and hopefully land somewhere.
That's how we did when we were younger.
Yeah, and that's not to say the Mega Drive or Super Genesis version is always better. There's a lot of Super Nintendo versions which are better than that, but the comparison is brilliant. And yeah, sometimes also just like sometimes you get different levels, or certain things are missing from one game but in another game, and it's really interesting to see. I think it's a great channel. I say they've been going on for years, like about 10 years. They don't do it every week or every month. There's a lot of work that actually goes into each video. So, but they're still doing it because they released one like a month or so ago, like the latest one. So, yeah. So shout out to them. Shout out to that team. I've actually forgotten the names. I think it's Dan and Greg.
I'm sure they say it on there or something.
Dan, Pat, and Greg are the three hosts that have been in it, basically. So yeah. Check it out. Yeah, Console Wars, people.
It's educating and entertaining.
Yeah, and I'll probably put a link in the description, as well as to Scotty's blog, and also your YouTube, Scotty, and also your Twitch stream, if that's available.
Yeah, you mean just my Twitch channel? I forgot I even had that. That's how I stream them.
The Saturn Marathon.
Yeah, maybe just the VOD for now, because I'm easing back into Twitch streaming, but it's so hard to keep up a schedule where other things are going on.
Nice, cool. Well,
that's cool.
Let's shut this baby down. So, any fun thoughts?
Ecco's weird. Ecco's weird.
And with that, thank you everybody for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to give a like and subscribe, or leave a comment if you can. It all helps build the channel. We're just starting out, but we have to make this keep going forward.
We'll have more socials and stuff. We wanted to get episodes out because it was taking us longer than we wanted it to just record and talk about games. So
yeah,
we'll have plenty of stuff for you to follow in the future. Don't worry.
Yep. So thanks everyone, and catch you later.
Last night, I dreamed I was a dolphin. My name was Ecco, and it was incredible. I was swimming in sparkling tropical waters. I battled sharks. I turned into a bird, and I was flying. Then, I survived it all to save the oceans from an evil alien power. It was fantastic. Huh?
Oh, he's not dead. He was just sleeping.
Oh, man. Get me out of here!
New Ecco, the tides of time.
SEGA!